7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow. You bleach your hair, you're a sellout. Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 252. We are wrapping up the SMX playoffs. We are going to wrap up basically the 2023 season. This is our last show for 2023 until we record our Supercross preview show. I'll be doing some intermittent videos here throughout the off season. I've got some interviews we're going to do. I've got some spicy interviews we're going to do. And I'm stoked.
Is that one set up for a certain date?
I need to text him.
Okay.
Stay
tuned, people.
You guys are gonna like this. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be fun. We're for all the spicy content we bring you. This could be some of the spiciest we've ever come up with. So, and we're not making stuff up. It's just stories that haven't been told before. So, but I got a couple different people lined up. I got one person that's real keen to do a show with us here. In the off season too. So
you have to tell me who that is, because I don't think that's not the same person, right? Not the same person.
Different person. Yeah.
Oh, you have to tell me when we're not on, because I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got lots of people. Welcome back into the show anyway, everybody. My name is Travis. I'm your host. This is Justin. He's the co-host.
I just hit that.
Thank you for just doing that right in the middle. And like I said, this is show number 252. Wrapping up the LA SMX race. Wrapping up all of 2023. We're going to talk a little bit of MXGP here. I've got a couple things for you on that.
MX of Nations.
I have a Holster Co. Reload rant. We got the 450s recap going to be brought to you by Worx. We got our 250 race recap going to be brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Before we get started, let's talk about these sponsors we got. So, we got at least one, if not two people coming up on the show too. We've got Isaac Gonzales, our West Coast contributor, is going to be coming on because he was actually at the LA race last night. And then possibly Kev. We're going to at least try to call Kev because Kev had a weird night last night with things. So we're going to try to get that story out there. Before we get started though, like I said, I want to thank our sponsors. So first up, presenting the show, as always, TLR Coatings, Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop. From two-tone wheels to small batch production jobs, we can do it all. Make sure to check us out at tlrcoatings.com or on all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings, including TikTok. Also with us, Complete Racing Solutions. Check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob and his team can scientifically help you both on and off the bike. And I believe, probably wrong on this, but I didn't write it down. They are still taking applications for their 2024 Elite Rider program, which comes with all sorts of perks and benefits and free stuff. But if you're a pussy or a helicopter parent, don't fucking apply. That was what I was told to say.
No little bitches.
No little bitches. But if you're out there to put the work in and, actually progress and do things, then apply for it.
And if you're not, just go to a training facility like everybody else.
Exactly. So, also on board with us, like I said, Holster Co. Reload Rant, Worx for the 450s, Adept Creative Co. for the 250 race recap, Isaac Nelson Designs for the Danger Zone, our last one of the season. And and like I said, we've got a whole bunch to cover here. This is going to be a good show. So
I thought it was an interesting night. There was a lot of people out there that weren't too stoked. Mathis was one of them. I don't know if I could agree. I think it was an interesting night. I think it was a...
Wait, pause. What was he not stoked about already?
He just kind of made a comment. I don't know about...
Where?
On Twitter.
Oh, okay.
He was like, or whatever the hell we're calling it now, X. I don't know.
X.
He just basically was like, yeah, he's like...
What? Wait for you to get it on your own. X going to deliver to you. Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Anyways,
he
was just, okay, DMX. He was just kind of like, yeah, the racing kind of sucks, and I'm not into it.
I told you, those second motos last night for both classes were not, the first motos were great. The second motos, I was like,
Yeah, but I still think that there was stuff to talk about after what happened, and I think it's a peek into what 2024 might look like.
Oh,
for
we're
some
going to talk
things.
2024 here as we go through this.
Yeah,
So, all right. Also, if you want to support the show, we got Patreon, we've got t-shirt links, there are Amazon links, all that stuff down in the description below. Again, the Amazon links, those are my favorite because you click those, you don't even have to buy what it sends you to. We just have to put something there essentially. So I put the podcast equipment we use, and you just, when you click those and go to Amazon and buy something within 24 hours, we get a small slice of that, which is awesome. So so thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, whole 9 yards. Almost yawned.
I was about to say one.
One. So all right. So let's jump in. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha.
Just hopefully we're not hanging that front wheel over.
Man, that was rough. We'll get to that. So make sure to check them out. Links in the description down below. Okay. Should we start all over from last week?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to address any of the comments that were made about you from last week?
I don't really care.
Because there was a lot.
I don't, dude. You know I don't give a shit about
Not
people.
a lot of. Actually, the comments I felt, even though there was a lot about you, were not particularly. It wasn't people agreeing with you, but it wasn't them necessarily just being super negative and like you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they are, dude, I've been taking. I don't really care. Like, you know me. Like,
You've been
I've
taking L's your whole life. I can't touch you. That's why you drink Prime, and you
Okay.
and Logan Paul are fucking buddies.
I wish I had Logan Paul's money.
Fucking A, you are great.
I wish I had Logan Paul's money. That's about it. Nah, man. Like, I've been around this shit for a long time. Like, I don't really care. Like, I have my take. You have your take. That's a great thing about living in the country we do. We can have
Nothing
opinions.
you want to change about your take from last week?
No,
Yeah,
man.
after everything that's come out this
no,
week,
because
and
especially
everything.
the interview that he had with old What's Her Nuts. I think he made himself look worse.
I didn't like that interview at all.
I think he made himself look worse.
There was preparations they should have done.
Oh, I think Myrtle
for
definitely.
That interview.
I think Myrtle definitely kind of got in his ear because there was a lot of talk, man, and there was a lot of positive things that people were saying, and there was a lot of negativity, and I just. Well, it's funny too because like when I watch Race Day Live, a lot of times like I turn it down a little bit because I can't stand Dan Hubbard. I don't dislike the guy, but like you know how I feel about him.
Who was worse yesterday, Dan Hubbard or Lee Diffie?
I like Lee Diffie, but I've been listening to Lee Diffie for a long time because I listened to him through the IndyCar stuff. And he actually comes from a motocross family. So, like, at least he knows, like, anyways. So, like, I turned it down, and I, like, when the Jet interview was on there, I'm like, oh, man, dude, I've heard what he's going to say, whatever. And then I got on, I don't know what website I was on, and all of a sudden people were just blowing up Jet. And I'm like, what the fuck is everybody, like, what happened? And then people literally, like, were referring, there's one. We're referring to that, and I'm like, what the hell did he say that was so bad? So I went back and like I rewound it, and I'm like, ooh. I'm like, man, I don't really know. Like, you should have just kind of stuck to what you had in Chicago.
They kept digging into him, and I'm just like, oh man, you should have like definitely
because it came out worse. It came out worse. Like, anyways,
that interview was not a good look.
No.
So after everything that's happened this week, here is what I truly believe happened. He was thinking that the points would work the same way as outdoors, which you can't blame him. We just did 22 outdoor motos, okay? But because we can't have the same fucking scoring system through all of these different series here, it's fucking different. So he's thinking one way, it actually is going another way. So, and let's face it, this point was brought up this week too. I heard it somewhere. He isn't fucking good at math. Do you remember his rookie season of
Remember
outdoors?
how I made this comment? Remember how I made this comment in the show, and now I don't look so bad. I'm like, hey man, stop trying to use your big brain because it didn't work.
I would say, well,
and that was something I would say that I was right on.
And this is true. This is very true. But do you remember his rookie season, or before his rookie season of outdoors, when he was doing like the 2 races and then doing
like
Loretta's
what was
or
it,
whatever?
Unadilla and Buds or something?
Yeah. Do you remember that? He pulled off the second moto of the second race because he thought he was going to get too many fucking points.
Oh yeah, was that Unadilla or no? Because he crashed.
I think that was Buds.
Yeah, it was Buds because he was top 10 at Buds.
Yeah, and it was brought up this week, and I went, holy shit! So this is starting to be a pattern of he tries to use his brain for math, and he fucking sucks at it.
Which is why I feel like he should just go out there and ride and try to. Anyways, no, I don't really have anything to change about because I still stand by the stuff that I said. Like,
so I do think that is what truly happened.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't any other negative thoughts or anything like that. He was just thinking like, shit, okay, if
Well,
I
it's
do
like-
this and this and this, will this put some more points between me and Chase? Because let's face it, he's trying to win $1 million.
Well, and it's like what Stu said. It's like there was no ill will there.
Yeah.
But it came off that way.
Yeah.
It's not like
It
he
didn't-
intentionally tried to be an asshole, but
if he would have just stayed on the same track the entire time through of I can't do fucking math, I suck,
yeah.
it would have been way
Because
better.
we've all done things in our lives where we were like, we're not meaning to be disrespectful,
Yeah.
and that because people perceive things different.
Yes.
And I agree with Stu. Like Stu, he's like, yeah, man, I don't think he meant that. I don't think he meant to be disrespectful, but it still came off as disrespectful.
I did
So you
listen
kind
to
of
Stu's
just
take this week,
you
too.
kind of
Yeah.
just got to. I would have been more happy if he would have just stayed with his initial thought.
Yeah.
Instead of that. But no, I mean, I don't really have anything to change because I made the comment that like, hey man, like if you're trying to be smart, I'm okay with that. But I don't really have anything to change what I said because like big picture, I still think the things that I think. And
Okay, so anyway, moving on. So he goes 1-1 last night. He answer any Supercross questions for you last night?
So I think the second moto was more telling where I believe that things are more equal. But the first moto, I was impressed because all day and even throughout the night, like he was still making a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. And track was sometimes when tracks are super simple, you start pushing that edge because you're trying to find that little 10th here, 10th there, and that's when you make mistakes. And the first moto was impressive to me, especially with the restart, like regrouping, getting back in that. But we've talked about with Jet. Jet doesn't overanalyze things in the sense of his line selection. He's so comfortable with his talent and his muscle memory that he commits is why I think he's so good outdoors at the beginning of motos. So that was impressive to me, especially because, dude, like all day, Chase had him covered in speed. Like he wasn't even fucking close. Like there was a couple times I watched his heaters, like especially the first time in the second session when he went onto the table, and I'm like, I saw him make a few mistakes, pivot out of corners, lose some traction. I don't think he's gonna be faster than Chase, but I'm like, oh, he's going to second on the board. And I was like, he's fucking still in fourth.
Yeah.
Like his lap times were like he just was. It's like ooh,
Qualifying wasn't great for either of the Hunter brothers yesterday.
no, and I think that's where I make the comment that it's like it's going to be a learning curve for him with Supercross as opposed to outdoors. They made the comment, his mechanic Christian, like, hey, like we only have so much time on Supercross. People got to remember, and I
Yeah.
get that, and that's fine. That's part of it. Everybody deals with that, but that's where I think that he's going to have to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable to go that, because even in the main. In the first main, after Kenny figured out going onto the table, like, dude, Kenny was hounding him, and how many times did Jet fucking look around? And I think that was like, oh, am I dropping him? No,
Jet looked around a lot last
which
night.
is why I lead to believe that Supercross is going to be a lot tougher for him.
I think it's going to be tougher, but I still think with them bringing up like the limited time on Supercross or whatever, I'm like, okay, so this would make sense because we spent a whole bunch of time obviously testing for outdoors because we were going outdoors this year. We obviously spent 22 motos on outdoors and including all summer there, obviously testing and stuff. So I'm like, okay, if he's doing this right now in Supercross, and what was your opinion on his bike setup last night? Do you think it looked as bad? Because Ricky had made comments.
I didn't think it looked great, but I think it looked better than the technical sections that we had when we were in Charlotte.
Yeah,
I think his bike definitely was a lot more plush, but I think they also knew that the sand section was where he was going to make up a lot of his time, which it was because he was the first one to really, when he was going over the two rollers and then hitting the wall and then bouncing to the outside and then going across, but then he realized that the inside was faster because you were staying low and driving forward. Like, he knew that was the one section that he was probably going to make up on time, everybody. Mm-hmm. And he was the only one to really be able to bounce through the rollers and then 3 out consistently, where everybody was kind of trying to double and then, like, check up, drive into the corner. He was going 3, committing to it. Because I honestly believe after he got around Kenny and then Kenny figured out going onto the table, that was the only place that actually he was faster than Kenny. Because I went back and looked at the lap times because I was just interested, and if you go sector times, that was the only sector where it really kept him ahead of Kenny. Everywhere else, Kenny was the exact same speed as it once he figured going onto the table because it was so much faster. It drove your momentum forward. Actually, a couple times.
We saw that too because he obviously caught past Kenny there, and then once Kenny committed to doing it, then it was because Kenny said he saw that in practice.
Yeah,
but
Jet was the first one to do it.
Yeah, but he also said multiple times he's like, think about everything a little bit more. I'm a little older now. So.
Yeah, so like And that's why I say that I think it's going to be one of those things that the getting used to the very rigid suspension that you have to run, especially with the fact you add the weight, the torque difference on a 450. Jet, even though he's growing into his man body, he's still not like the biggest guy. That's gonna be the hard part for him, in my opinion, because he's just gonna have to realize, like, dude, you're gonna have to get used to that because you're not gonna be able to run the soft suspension on that 450 like you did on your 250 in Supercross. And I think that's where the learning curve, and everybody has to deal with it. It's not like it's unfair to say for him that, whatever, that's your excuse or whatever you want to use. But I think that you start getting on those tacky East Coast tracks where some of those guys start running the stiffer shit, and that's where the separation is going to be. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, which is why I feel like it's not going to go. He may ultimately end up winning the race anyway when we get to that point, but it's going to be a lot harder than I think everybody anticipated. And like I said, all the reasons why I thought Supercross would be much easier for him, I'm now realizing that it's the other way around. That's why it's better for outdoors, because he could hop, skip, and jump over shit.
Yeah.
Whereas in Supercross, everybody's doing the same shit all the time. So Jet's not going to be able to do anything anymore like he did on the 250s, where it's like, oh my God, this is where he's gaining a second. Like any 4.44 or 4.33, top 10 is going to be doing it. So like you're going to have to find that little inch everywhere. But no, it was very impressive. I will say I was surprised in the second main, and I don't know what your take is, and I know some people have made some comments, but once again, I went back and looked at the times. The second main, they were actually faster by like almost a second. I was shocked that he wasn't catching Chase.
That was super interesting. And so even more interesting, did you listen to the press conference?
No. I mean, I can't listen to 45 minutes of those fucking guys talk.
He pointed out in the press conference, Jet did, that him and Chase were in the truck talking, and he was like, dude, I just don't know, like, where...
Dude, he had 2 seconds on him my lap, too.
He's like, I don't know where you would even make time to, like, pull away from someone. And he goes, and Chase said, no, there's places. And I didn't really believe him. He goes, and then I went out there, and fuck, he was right. He's like, he was yarding me. And he said, he's like, I didn't have anything for him. If he wouldn't have crashed, he's like, I had nothing for him.
And Chase, and we'll get to Chase. So I went back and looked at the times. So the second main, I think their fastest lap, everybody, pretty much all the top guys, was almost like a second faster.
Yeah.
Chase's fastest lap was not even a 10th slower than Jet's, but Chase's worst, his max time and his average time was almost 6/10 of a second faster than Jet's was.
It's unbelievable.
And that's why I
he
say,
has
dude,
to be doing it in the corner.
And that, well, yeah, I mean, dude,
so
yeah.
like his corner speed just.
But
has
this
to be
all
that
comes
much
with
faster.
Chase just being comfortable with dropping into a rut.
Yeah.
And where Jet, it takes a little bit more lower body strength on that 450 in the tight shit. Chase, obviously, we know, is a lot bigger than Jet. He's a lot thicker. He's got a lot more muscle. That's where the difference is.
He tucks that front a lot more.
He does. Jet may be a lot more smoother and precise through the corner.
Yeah.
But Chase, dude, you never see him hesitate when he's coming in. There was a couple times I see Jet, he pushed it in deep, once again, getting the suspension, stiff, soft, couldn't get it to squat. He'd push it in, and his hip would be kind of weighted to the outside, and he would do this thing where he would lean and pivot, and then he would drop in, where you watch Chase. Every time he drops into a rut, dude, he's leaning in, trusting his lower body, and he's rolling through. And you're right. And you can watch it, and that's where I say, man, nights like that, Chase at the deck, Jet won. You got to be in it to win it. But that's why I believe that he's not going to win everything. Because nights like that, like he wasn't catching Chase. He wasn't going to catch him.
No.
Had Chase not crashed and did what Chase does, Chase was going to go on to win that by like 4.5 seconds or whatever the fuck it was.
But here's the best part, man. We got 2 months that he can go out and just do nothing but pound laps on Supercross.
For sure.
So when we come into A1, dude, holy shit. And
but
I think we'll see part of it. Well, maybe not, but he's doing, what's it called there? Paris, too.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing, though.
What you got
to ask yourself is, even if he gets comfortable with a stiffer setting, he works on some different things, builds his muscle up, because boot camp's probably going to be a little bit different this offseason than what he's normally used to. He knows he's got to build some muscle. When Chase is on like that, and we'll get to Eli, we'll talk about that in a little bit, he's just going to match Chase. Like, it's not like what Chase was doing, Jet's going to be that. He's going to be all of a sudden that much faster. Like that, those dudes, because the track was so simple, they were on the limit at some point. So it's like, okay, so you talk about Jet's going to go to here, Chase can bring it up here, where's Eli going to be? okay, so Chase was here, Jet was here that second. He's going to bring it up. So then they're going to be even. So it's basically just going to be down to who's ever going to be more aggressive, and are you going to just run it in on my front end? Because obviously we know Chase is going to KTM, so there's no whatever. So yeah, man, like that's why I made the comment that it was a little peak into next year, because we had a good idea of if Chase is on and Chase is doing Chase things, is Jet willing to go to that limit? And now Jet even said, he's like, I don't fucking know where you were making up that time. And so I think it's going to be very, very interesting. It's good, but you know what? Jet came out with it. He got the overall, got the championship, got the $1 million or however much Honda's going to pay him or whatever. And he rode great, you know?
Yeah.
I think I'm more impressed with Kenny than I am anybody else, though.
Well, now transition us here into Kenny going 2-2, man, and yeah, that was
Spicy.
Good. Did you see his see his butt patch?
No.
Said 1 + 1 = 3. And he asked Jet in the press conference if he'd seen it, and Jet goes no. So of course he stands up, sticks his ass right in his face. He goes, and I got to make sure you sign this before we leave here, so that way I can hang these on the wall. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Do you think? And I don't believe so. So I think it's not. I think it's over and done with. Like Kenny's at the point of his career where obviously he respects Jet. He was
I don't
pissed.
think there's any harbored feelings at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
with
at. Like,
with that whole interaction
Yeah.
there at the press conference last night. No, I don't think so. I think Kenny was really pissed Monday last week because like Pulp Show interview.
Oh, yeah, I
he was,
listened to
he
it.
was spicy.
He got some
He
time to
wasn't-
decompress.
Yeah, he
and-
wasn't pumped, and now he's kind of got to that point, and I think in his mind too, what he's probably thinking is he's like, dude, how much dumb shit did I say when I was fucking 20 years old? Because
Oh,
let's
dude, you
face
can go
it,
back and find the GP days with him and Hurlings.
Kenny's mouth ran forever when he was younger.
Oh yeah, it was
So-
bad. It was bad.
It was, and I think he views it a lot like a lot of the rest of us do. It was a kid who did some fucking wrong math and then went to, oh, well, it was a baby gift.
You had to
whatever. Just
backtrack
said
and-
something
yeah.
and thought like, oh, it would be funny. Obviously, it wasn't taken funny. It happens. Now, I think, like I said, they're past that. I don't think there's any ill will there. I think it's kind of all like, okay, cool, man. Like, you said something dumb. You're a fucking idiot, but water under the bridge. Let's move on.
Do you think though that once again, obviously Chicago hybrid, but it was definitely more outdoors with, and I stand by this, outdoors with Supercross faces. Charlotte was a mix. This was Supercross outside of no whoops and a longer sand section.
Yep.
Outside of getting the win in Indy, I think this is the best Kenny's been all year, which is surprising.
I think so, too.
And I hope that he can carry that into next year because I really want to see somebody else stick their foot in the mix, because I just don't want to see it be the same three dudes on the podium. Like, we know there's going to be times where guys are going to have bike issues or crash or whatever. But man, I really started thinking about it last night. I'm like, there could be a point, depending on what Eli comes back, which for all intents and purposes, like, he seems like he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We can have a lot of weekends where it's just musical chairs with Jet, Chase, and Eli. And that's fine if the racing's good. But I don't really want to see it, those three, and then like 10 seconds to fourth and even more to fit. Like, I want to see another guy stick his nose in there. And I feel like if Kenny can do that, ride like that, and I don't know if he just kind of came in like, dude, I got nothing to fucking lose. Like,
They've been doing a lot of testing is what I've heard.
Yeah.
Like a lot of testing. So I think the development of that bike, since he's going to be staying there, I think it'll be all right next year.
Man, I hope that's too. It would be good to see him kind of get his mojo back, because he looked really good all year, but obviously we know there's certain races with Kenny where he's just not going to be feeling it and not be willing to go to that next level. But man, it would be cool to see, as his career is now starting to wind down, like him kind of be back in a championship hunt.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, outside of the win in Indy last year, like, there were some races where he was up front, but he just, I don't know, man, like he didn't look like this. So
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. That was a great ride, man. He and I mean, dude, he just stuck with him there. And actually, what ended up happening was one of the hills got in his way.
I think that was Josh Hill.
Yeah, he wasn't upset about it, really. I mean, he was upset because obviously it cost him time there at the end of that moto there in the second one. But he's like, dude, I thought he was going to get out of the way, and they end up just being in the same line as me, going through the sands. He's like, I know he didn't mean to, so whatever. But yeah, so that was kind of the difference there. But yeah, these were great 3 rounds in my opinion for Kenny.
I think it was.
So, all right. So Webb goes 5-3 for third.
I mean, look better now that we're back on Supercross. Look more comfortable compared to the last 2 weekends. The last 2 weekends, like, he did not look great. I know that they were chasing their tails with bike setup in Chicago.
We'll see.
I think it'd be fine. Even more testing time. We're back in Supercross. We know Coop is obviously a Supercross specialist with the 2 titles. I think if they can just get that bike where he feels comfortable staying lower in the corners, it's not going to turn like the KTM just because of the flex difference.
Yeah.
But if they can get it to the point that he's confident when it's a hard base, and especially late when we go to the West Coast and the moisture coat's coming up, where he feels comfortable going that low and he's not just fucking like trying to push the bike inwards because it won't plant. I think he's going to be better, because I think at this point it's just going to be, is he going to be confident in that bike?
Yeah.
When we go actually Supercross racing.
Yeah, I mean, these 3 races were not quite what I thought we were going to see out of Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
I really thought we were going to see him get in there and be spicy, and he was kind of fucking irrelevant, all 3 of them. So we'll see when Supercross comes. I do think it was an advantage for him to be in these, to be able to kind of shake this down, see where he's at speed-wise on the bike compared to everybody else. But
I think his biggest thing, too, is, man, he's got to get his starts back. Because, like, 2019 wasn't great because there was a lot of times where he was, working his way through the pack, just shit starts. But I really feel like in 2020 and 2021, and somebody's going to come in with a statistic that I'm wrong. But don't you kind of feel like in 2020 and 2021, though, his starts were a lot better? And it feels like the last couple years, dude, and I know we went through what we went through in 2022. But I really feel like the last couple of years, man, his starts have really fallen off.
Yeah,
whereas like 2020 and 2021, dude, it always seemed like he was top 5.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And that's what you're going to need to do if you're going to run up front this coming next year. You're going to need to put yourself in front, because we know Coop with the lead, he's not going to be able to run that pace outright.
Yeah.
But if anybody's going to be able to think their way through a main to a win, it's going to be Coop.
Yeah.
He needs to put himself in front of those guys and make them ride his race where he can just be on the defense. Because here's the thing. Chase, we know you can fluster. Eli at this point's like, fucking whatever, dude. Like, I don't care. And Jet, we just don't know. Because we never seen him put in a situation where Jet needs to think his way through a race. Because usually he just goes around people and kind of walks away from them.
Yeah.
So if like Coop can fucking frustrate him a little bit because he's riding a wide bike and he can't get around him. So I think Coop needs to find his starts, and whatever Eli was doing last year, they need to figure that out with his bike.
Yep. AC goes 7-4 for 4th. Great starts.
Squinted out in that first main, though, after the wall. Hey, I'm just going to go right.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, what are you doing? What was that, dude?
Woo! Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. His starts were back. I mean, because both motos, he was basically whole shotting them. Okay. Cool. We'll see you in January here. And hopefully your wrist is better.
We're going back to whoops, though. So
hopefully your wrist is better.
Like, we've talked about this before. What's the expectation for him anymore at this point? You made it through a year.
If you get 2 arms, I mean, he's getting 4th overall with 1 arm. So 2 arms, you double that. I mean, you could be battling for some things, but
I don't know,
stuff
man.
and things.
I don't know anymore at this point with AC.
I'm not sure either. I'll give him next year. If the arm doesn't get better by next year, because I know how much he's putting into trying to get it better, he's fucked. So, Colt Nichols goes 8-5 for 5th.
Really good that second main. I mean, granted, we lost a few guys, so
gets enough points. Won himself $90,000.
Yeah, and that probably actually most of it is his actually.
Spent 30 to do this.
Okay.
Between bikes and everything, bikes and travel.
So I'm gonna assume he's probably he's probably gonna owe some people some money somewhere.
No. His full was
30.
Was 30.
Oh, so he's walking away with $60K. Okay.
Yeah, so
not
that
bad.
was good.
Not bad. Especially going to beta.
Yeah, he basically was like, my thought was if I can keep it in the 25 to 30 grand range, I should win that much, even if I get like 21st, 22nd. Okay.
Which I'm curious then what his contract with Beta is.
Not a lot.
So it's like, oh, cool, do 60K, we're good.
I don't know. We'll see. He's got to ride the Beta now for a while. Then he's got to go back to the Kawasaki for the last 2 WSX rounds. I mean, it's going to be it's a fucking mess. So,
stupid.
Marchbanks goes 6-7 for 6th.
God, he was actually good last night. When I looked up and I saw that he was the first main, I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, okay, well, Dylan was out. Barsha was out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, still, like, even then you put him in like 8th, 9th. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
man, I understand we didn't have whoops, which we know Garrett's actually good in whoops, so I don't think that would have been a big thing anyway. This was a very tamed down, other than the going onto the table and the sand section. I just don't understand why he thinks he needs to ride a 250 next year, dude.
I don't think it's him. I think it's the team. And I
Well,
believe
Mike
the and I
Minacci
believe-
and Brandon Haas need to pull their head out of their ass.
I believe the thing with the team is they think he can get podiums in the 250 class, which I
He
question
can't.
too. And yeah, my thing is like a top 10 450 guy is on the same level essentially as a podium 250 guy, in my opinion. So this is kind of one of those things of like, maybe we should look at it. And here's the other thing too. We know how much money goes into those 250s to be
Especially for
competitive.
Garrett's big ass.
So if Yamaha is not giving you guys development parts and everything, what the fuck are you even doing? Just do the 450s, man.
And I mean, the thing that I don't understand too is we know that Garrett has had such an up and down career the last couple of years that, dude, if you go in there to the 250s, you've had this great summer.
He made the 450 SMX
By just riding outdoors.
by just riding outdoors.
And that's what I mean, dude. You've had such a great summer. His confidence has got to be through the roof. He goes to the 250s and he starts going back to what he was doing before he went to the 450. Man, you could completely just blow his confidence out before we go outdoors.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird. Ty Masterpool goes 9-9 for 7th. Wins himself some money.
I honestly thought that now we're going back to more technical shit, that he would fall off a lot, and he didn't. So I think that kind of proves that he's going to be, I mean, we don't know
he's
what
going to race all year next year.
I'd like to see it, man. I really want to see what he can do. I really think that he can mix it up and he kind of stick his nose in there and kind of, you know, he's got more speed than Harlan. Harlan took a huge jump. I think Harlan was the best consistent privateer in the 450s this last year in Supercross. Dude, if Ty can go from having the most ridiculous 250 career to being able to lead races and then miss 9 to 10 in one season, and then all of a sudden you can be a consistent top 10, dude. He's gonna end up on a factory team if he can be just top 10 all year next year.
Well, he's getting his appendix out, so he's going to be like a pound lighter here soon. So
yeah, so we're just gonna need more of a rocket ship.
There we go. So, Freddie Noren goes 11-8 for 8th. He's the only guy to complete all 31 rounds this year.
Wild.
He is the only guy to race for every fucking race this year.
Well, he's not doing MX of Nations, so he's got some time off.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, he needs to take a beat.
Yep. Phil Nicoletti goes 12-10 for 9th.
Guy who loves LCQs.
Undefeated LCQ
loves
champion.
LCQs, and he's probably already over Supercross.
The only other guy outside of Jet to go undefeated in a season this year. Good drink.
He's over Supercross probably already at this point.
Over it, but hey, fucking love that guy. He's great.
Great for the sport, man. Great.
Absolutely great. Got one more season left in him. So, all right. So Chase Sexton goes 320 for 10th overall. Tuck that front, son.
Dude, that wasn't even tucking the front.
No, he was tucking the front, going up that jump, trying to scrub.
Yeah,
it.
but then in the air though, dude, like I don't know what the fuck.
And as soon as he tucked it going up the front, going up that jump, then it just tucked right over the backside of the jump and just catapulted him.
Dude, he was riding so good though.
Fucking rough.
God,
dude.
He was riding so good.
Fucking rough.
I'm like, well, Chase is gone, man. I was like, even when Jet put in a heater in like the 5 or 6 lap or whatever it was, where he dropped it back down, Chase just pulled it back to 4.4 or whatever it was, 4.3.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck happened to him in that first main. Like once Jet went around him in the sand, I don't know if he just like spazzed out and he's like, oh, dude, here we go again. Because the bike looked fine. Mm-hmm. And I know the only place Jet was really making up time on him was the sand section. Because, you know. So I'm like, and then he just dropped off. Like I honestly thought he was going to catch a toe. He's like, all right, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch where Jet's lines are, which they were pretty much all running the same lines anyways outside of the sand. But then he just really fell off. And I think with like 5 minutes ago, he's just like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, dude, because I'm like, okay, well, it's going to become Kenny and Jet in the second main, and then Chase just rips a star, and he's just gone. And I'm
Last race on a Honda, buddy.
I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Jesus.
He'll be back.
No, he's going to be fine.
On the Honda.
Nah, I don't know, man.
He'll leave KTM after like 2 years.
I don't think he's going back to the Honda.
So, some fun inside baseball facts about Chase Sexton.
Okay.
Number 1, heard he's going to number 4 next year.
All right. That's
So
weird.
we're going to have a number 4 on a KTM again.
Why?
Single digit, won a title, wants a single digit. That's the only one that's available right now.
Okay, I mean, I guess we're just fucking... We're going to have another 4 on a KTM Baggett style.
I guess. Number 2, I heard he has been blowing up Stanton, trying to get him to work with him.
Be smart.
I was having a conversation with somebody last night. I honestly think that if he wants to go to the next level, he has to get away from his dad. His dad has been great up till this point. but this is as far as Kier will take him. And
I think
I don't have a problem with his dad.
Yeah, no, Kier's a good dude.
I don't have a problem with him. He's a good dude, but it's one of those things. He's going to have to move past that to go past where he is, because we all know Dad is his big riding coach right now. Obviously, there's something wrong with the technique. And what I mean by wrong with the technique, because that's such a broad statement, it's not the bike that's tucking the front end.
No, man, I go back and it's even and this somebody even validated my point that, like I said, he just reacts a lot of the time. He doesn't process shit. That's a lot of his crashes. And Stanton will fix that, man. Stanton will fix that because Jeff's not going
to work with him.
I don't know, man.
Jeff doesn't want to do it full time, so Jeff's not going to work.
Well, yeah,
with
he's also not going to move to Florida.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I was told, is that he's been blowing Jeff up, trying to get Jeff to work with him, but Jeff doesn't want to work with it. Here's my thing:
he's got to get somebody, man. But it's not going to be on the bike shit. It's got to be the mental, because that is mental. Because on the bike, Chase is fine.
But my thing is like he had a guy that could teach him to go faster. And he fought that.
But I think it all comes down to is that Stu is so naturally talented, where Chase has had
that's the case. Listening to him talk on his podcast, I don't think that's the case. Stu knows how it fucking works, dude. I've listened to not every single one of Stu's podcasts at this point with the race recaps and stuff, but I've listened to a fair amount. And dude, he's really good about breaking shit down.
He is,
and I'm just like, fuck, man.
But
like,
he doesn't have the mental shit that Chase does.
We all thought that, like, you know, whatever. The only guy in history that goes faster than Chase, pretty much, is him. So in my mind, if he can even remotely translate that to a verbal thing, which I think he can, judging by his podcast that I listen to, that's the dude that you should be working with, and you've already blown that up. So that's not great, in my opinion.
I just think that Chase, I don't think he needs a riding coach. I think he needs somebody that has been there, done that, but is going to help him more on the mental side.
Well,
it's kind of like with Johnny O. Like Johnny O with Jet and Hunter, I don't think he's teaching them anything on the bike that they can't already do. He's helping them on the mental side.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you get a lot of, especially when you're so naturally talented, where you can just, like I said, go off muscle memory, manipulate your muscles where other guys couldn't. It's the mental side of things, how to deal with certain things in races and situations. And I don't think Chase needs a riding coach. I think he needs a mental, kind of like with what Christian had, What's His Nuts, that did the BMX shit.
Yeah. But there still has to be somebody, because there is a little piece there that is missing. That is why he's tucking the front end. A little piece. Just a bit. And if he gets that figured out, then everybody else is, we'll see with the KTM. But then everybody else is fucked. Because
I just can't think of,
is fucking fast.
I just can't think of anybody that right now that actually works with guys that you're going to be able to find that's going to be able to work with Chase.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that's the missing puzzle piece right now, because otherwise I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, even with the team switch and stuff, I still think he tucks that front next year.
Yeah.
So I don't see that getting fixed because of switching manufacturers. That's got to be fixed up here. So I don't know. Yeah, rough way to end it for Chase, though. You know, walking down the tunnel and just, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, all right. Ando goes 4:21 for 11th. He also tucked the front end, trying to scrub too hard.
Man.
If he wouldn't scrub so hard, it'd be all right. He was ripping. I still can't believe he went all year and didn't fucking win one damn race. That's
it is wild considering he won, what was it, 8 last year or 7 or whatever. Well, if you include outdoors, it was like 8 or 9. I don't know. Yeah, man. And
it just blows my mind.
I still think he has the speed to win, because, I mean, we see it during practice in the heaters. Like, dude, he can still put out fast laps faster than Chase and Jet on any given lap.
Yeah.
So he still has the speed. I think now the problem that you're going to get with the level that we're going to be at is you're going to have to be so perfect for these guys that don't have that outright speed at 85 to 90 that these guys have to go to 100.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to be so perfect to win races next year that I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen a lot during Supercross. There were times where Ando, like, he just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And he realized it halfway in the main. He's like, dude, I'm not making up time on these guys. Like, I'm just there's no point in yarding myself into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, man. I still think he can win in Supercross. Just waiting for that time when he goes to Triumph in 2025.
Sure. AP goes 26 for 12th overall.
Super pissed about that restart in the first one, man.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. He got moved around.
He did. He got moved.
There were some interesting positions put out there.
And now we're gonna go to MX of Nations in 2 weeks and get the dog shit slapped out of us. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right. Shane McElrath, 15-11 for 13. Okay.
And with that big, as Steve says, mobile. Steve, it's
logo.
mobile. You stupid ass.
Chiz goes 14. Where's my rape doll? Show me where he touched you. Chiz goes 14-13 for 14th. Josh Hill goes 13-14 for 15th. Harlan 18-12 for 16th. Justin Hill.
Man, I seriously, dude, do not know what has happened to Justin Hill. I don't know if it's that bike you need back on the KTM because this is not the dude that we saw in Supercross.
This is Justin Hill things, bro.
I don't know if you can say that, man. He made it through Supercross and he was top 10 the entire year and then got on the box.
Man, what are we doing now?
We're on a Kawasaki that I don't know why we're on.
This is exactly what Justin Hill does. Like, dude, he's so fast at times. And then we do this and we're like, what the fuck are we
Well,
doing?
I don't know if you can say it about times when it's the whole season.
I mean, yeah, he had a
really good season.
Supercross season, but it's like
I think it's a bike thing.
He also won a title, and then like the next year was defending the title, and then frickin' did that heat race at Tampa in the 450 class, and we all went holy shit, and then didn't do a fucking thing after that.
I'm not saying Justin Hill's going to light the world on fire.
I know.
I think that I solely believe that he should have been on his KTM.
This doesn't shock me at all.
It does me. I think he needs to be back on the KTM. I don't know why he was riding that Cowie.
Jerry Robin goes 16-16 for 18th. Jeremy Han goes 19-18 for 19th.
Good to see Jeremy Han in the mains the last 2 weekends.
Yeah. Dino goes 10 DNF for 20th. He's over it. Kevin Moranz goes DNS 17 for 21st. Okay. Jace Kessler goes DNS 19 for 22nd.
Kessler got in one.
Yeah. Barsha goes 21 DNS for 23rd. God, dude. That was gnarly.
Dude, he's another guy, man. He can only take so many more of these hits.
Did you see him pulling his teeth out of his grip when they got back to the pits? No, I'm kidding.
I was about to say, dude, that was bad.
But that was
it almost made worse. It's real good that AC and Kenny have such good reaction, bro, because they about nailed him like back to back.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, man. I don't know if like Stu and Ricky thought he was in first and he just spun going up the lip, or like the front end dipped on him, and I think when he tried to roll on to get the back end of squad, it just shot him forward. I don't know, dude. It was bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, dude, this is another thing. Like he's getting to that point in his career where like he can only take many more of these.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then your boy Dylan went DNS.
Oh, got a little push from Jet.
24th.
Got a little push from Jet in that.
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, Jet made him cry.
No, he didn't. No, well, I mean, he kind of. He kind of, but I'm not blaming Jet. I'm just saying, like, Jet pushed him, and that's why I ended up going down. And it's a bummer, too, man, because, like, he was having a good 2 rounds, and then just to end it that way. And
interesting to see what this deal is that comes out.
I mean, have you heard the other rumor that's going around with him?
No.
Oh, there's a rumor that old Ziggy is trying to, and you might want to put this out there to see if there's some truth behind this. There's a rumor that Ziggy's trying to bring FC Honda back with some backing, and they've been talking to Dylan.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're trying to get the backing to bring him onto the team.
Super interesting.
So I'm curious if there's any validity to that, or
not sure.
Because I'd like to see Dylan on a Honda.
I will text here in a little while. Remind me after we talk to these next 2 people. So that's the 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. Gutterworks is always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. All right, so we got a couple people coming up here. So we're going to call Mr. Moranz here and see if he picks up, because he said he had to keep it short. So we'll see if he even picks up here. Hopefully he does. And then we've got Isaac Gonzales, like I said, our West Coast contributor, coming on to talk to us about what it was like to actually be there in the LA Coliseum last night.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Kevin Moranz, what is up, man? Welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, buddy.
Howdy, what up?
We're going to keep this short, simple, and to the point. So you go DNS 17 last night. Now, let's start right here with this LCQ thing.
Okay.
Sir, you were turning the wrong way in the first corner. There was a bike there, and you were turning the wrong direction. So I'm going to need you next time to go with the corner, which would be left instead of right.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not joking there. Yeah, and the LCQ. Well, no, I came in, had a good start, and Nicoletti just kind of pinched me off and then slowed up a little bit more than I was expecting. So I slid hard. And then, yeah, caught, so it turned me the opposite direction. Came around. Like I said in my Instagram post, I had shifted fourth into on that straightaway.
Okay.
And when I was coming into the corner, I thought I shifted down twice.
Oops.
So going through the corner, I was going out wide after I kind of high-sided, and I saw some guys on the inside kind of pushing me out. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to 3 in here because everybody's trying to double and then be right up behind Nicoletti kind of deal.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't only shift down once, apparently. So when I went to throttle on to go for the triple, it did not have the beans like I thought it was going to. So then I was in third. It bogged a little bit. I just about killed myself. Somehow rode it out and then regrouped. And I was like, all right, Kev, like, you got to get your crap together. You're not completely out of this, but you're going to have to work for it. And then go through that corner. And then the corner right before the finish line, 2 guys hit each other. And I just ran into the back of them kind of deal because I was already in air when that happened.
Sick.
So, yeah, interesting situation.
But then we made it in to the second moto because Barsha decided to torpedo his jaw on the handlebars, and Dylan got hit by a jet.
He got jetted.
There was a jet, flew really low, and decided to take him out. So we made it into the motos there for the second one. So that was cool. How did that go? Because I'll be honest, I didn't even know you were in that second moto.
I saw his name. I was like, ooh. I was like, cool. Kev's in the main.
I didn't even see it. I was just, I don't know. It was late, man. I was in a coma. I ate a lot of Costco cookies and cake last night. It was fine.
Funny story is, I knew Barsha. Everybody saw that Barsha went out.
Yeah.
So the next alternate was Kessler. So everybody saw Kessler getting ready, but nobody knew that Dylan was actually not, or was he actually hurt. It sounded like, they made it sound like on the broadcast that he pulled off. When they did like the restart situation, stagger start, he tried jumping back in, but they wouldn't let him because he already left the track.
Yep.
So I was like, I wonder if he's racing the second moto. So I'm sitting there after the first moto, and I just went ahead and went over to Star, and I was like, hey, is Dylan going to race the next moto? And they're like, no. And I'm like, interesting, shoving that one in my back pocket. I ain't telling nobody about that. I'm going to go around and look at these other racers. So the other racers weren't getting ready. I saw Kessler getting ready. And I was like, yo, where's like Pape? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Pape or Pap.
No, he's Pope. He's the Pope, bro. It's Pope.
And so I was like, he's like, oh, I think he was pitted right down there. And all his stuff's all closed up in his van. Nobody's over there. Cartwright, nobody's around his bike. Justin Starling, who finished in front of me in the LCQ, was already gone. Or at least he was packed up and left pretty much. So I was like, I'm going to wait till the very last second. I'm going to get ready inside the Pirelli rig, not a single soul see me getting ready, jump on my bike and go down there last second.
This is fucking awesome.
Sure as shit, man. It worked.
That is fucking
I came back
genius.
and Cartwright was so pissed off, dude. Oh, man.
That was awesome. I'll tell you what, man. All I could think yesterday, every time I saw Hunter Yoder on the screen, was when he came up to us in Chicago and was like, "Bro, I felt so fast."
But I was
sweet,
last.
Where were you? I was last. So every time I saw him on the screen, I was like, that was all I could think about, and I was just laughing out loud all day watching him. So.
Dude.
But dude, that is a fucking epic story of getting into.
Dude.
Let me just casually walk around here and see if anybody else seems like they're getting ready. Oh, nope. Okay, cool. Kev's in. Sick. So
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So that's cool. But we didn't make enough.
Yeah, they were all salty about it, but it's part of being ready.
I mean, hey, dude.
Hey, man, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Yeah. I don't have to get ready. I am ready. So that is awesome. But not enough points to get any of the big money, huh?
No, I mean, I still did good enough that I placed in the top 22 in that event. No big money.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Things happen.
Part of it.
Whatever.
Yep.
What was it like racing in the Coliseum? Was that cool?
Dude, it was cool. Like I actually liked that event, and I kind of liked the track. I think the track could have been maybe a little bit better, had a little bit more options in the rhythms. Everything was kind of simple besides the old quad situation they were pulling. I was not pulling that. But I wish that there was some options you could have had in the rhythm before the finish line instead of everybody doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
I mean, overall, for what they had to work with, it was pretty cool. I'm ready for real Supercross with actual whoops and stuff though, because it separates people way more.
Yeah. Was it sketchy around the stadium? Because I've heard it's sketchy around that stadium, but
I was told coming in that was supposed to be really bad, but I didn't think it was super gnarly.
Did you guys pit right outside, or were the pits like a long ways away?
Oh, they were right outside.
Oh, okay.
I mean, kind of right outside. I mean, it always seems like it's far away, but we were right next to the stadium. You just had to go down and around to get into the track.
Okay. All right. Sweet. And how was it? How was it going through those peristyles, man?
It was good going up. I mean, dude, they're skinny. They're really skinny. So the whole option section coming out, I think, was kind of a joke because everybody pretty much just went to the inside coming out.
Yeah.
But the sand section situation that they had was actually kind of interesting. Like you could make some stuff happen. It kind of swapped back and forth on which line was faster. So that was actually pretty cool.
Interesting.
But
super interesting. So you got anything for him? You got any questions? Because he said he had to keep it short.
No,
So
I'm
we're
good, man. I'm good.
Try and keep it short and simple.
We're
here.
good. We're
Short
good.
and sweet. Anything else you want to talk about, Kev?
Nothing besides got some news coming for 2024, so stay tuned.
Sweet. Let's drop it right now.
That's not the thing. That's not going to happen.
We could drop all sorts of news.
Look, Kev's not stupid.
I think we could drop a lot of news. Are you gonna ride a Triumph?
What'd you say?
Are you gonna ride a Triumph? Is that the news?
Negative.
Oh,
Negative.
well,
But you don't know
At
he's
least not
actually on the
that
Ducati team.
I'm aware of.
well, that's unfortunate. Ooh, fun fact. Heard Ducati was at club testing 2 weeks ago.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go hit them up, Kev.
Yeah, there you go. Call
Man, I'm down
Ducati.
for anything at
Call
this point.
Ducati, man.
Call Ducati, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like, just call Ducati.
Yeah.
A
for
90
anything at
horsepower
this point.
450.
So we're not talking about anything for 2024 yet.
No, nothing specific. Just stay tuned. That's all I gotta say.
Stay tuned
Okay.
to Kev's channel.
You got your tickets for WSX here? We're playing tickets. We're ready to
yeah,
rock and roll.
Yep. Abu Dhabi and Melbourne already booked. Ready to go.
Interesting.
Kev, you going to Abu Dhabi with like 50K?
What do you mean?
Well, Abu Dhabi's
Everything's expensive in Abu Dhabi.
yeah, dude. It's not cheap. It's kind of like Dubai. It's expect that oil money over there, bro.
I mean, yeah.
Like a fillet.
Well, I guess I'm about to learn the hard way because I ain't taking no money like that over there. I gotta
Fillet
get that money first.
of fish is like $50.
I mean, yeah, dude. People go to Dubai and they just can't get home.
Yeah. Just stuck in the airport forever, bro.
Shut up. You guys are ridiculous.
Oh no, I have heard Dubai is a little crazy. I have heard the Dubai McDonald's prices are insane compared to everywhere else in the world, but I don't know. I haven't been
Well, I will look into that for you.
there. Ask Jace. He'll know.
You ain't going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, all right, buddy. Well, thank you for calling in or letting us call you with that story there because that was
funny.
Yeah, I needed to hear what had
Yeah,
happened
dude, that
there.
was a good one.
That
Poor
was
Josh
a good
Cartwright.
one.
It
Poor
was-
Josh Cartwright.
Oh, that was awesome. So, all right, thanks, man. We'll talk this week, buddy.
See ya, bud.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, bye. All right, Kevin Moranz, everybody.
What a story.
Just casually
Hey,
walking
man, I don't
around.
have to get ready because I am
Yeah,
ready.
I'm ready. Yeah, just got dressed in the truck and took off.
Smart, man. Hey, dude,
That was-
you got to be in there.
That is
gotta
the
be paying
kind of shit
attention.
that privateers do that's fucking awesome.
Got to pay attention, bro.
Yep. So, all right. Here we go. We will now call. New FaceTime. Let's call Isaac Gonzales here. Let's call him. So now we
Boom.
got West Coast
Boom.
Isaac Gonzales. We're gonna talk to all our boys here, right quick.
Hello?
Mr. Isaac Gonzales, welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, bud.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Sir, it is evening.
Yeah, we're not on that West Coast time.
Yeah, not at all.
No, it's, let me see, it's 4 o'clock here, but
Yeah.
I say good morning all the time. I
All
don't know
right.
why.
Fair enough. So what's happening, man? How was going to the race last night?
It was magical, dude. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah. Are you eating? Are you eating right now? I hear plates.
You hear my coffee.
Oh, okay. All right. Are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we doing fancy coffee? Like we're coffee snobbing it? Are you cold brewing over? Like I don't even know what.
I was about to say you don't drink coffee, so I would.
It's
just
like
stop
you
right
take
now.
the water, you put it in the thing, you boil it, then you like
Dude, you
pour
know
it
you-
over
you know
the
you can-
beans,
You know you can
over the
buy
grounds.
cold. You know
and
you can buy
stuff.
cold brew in a bottle, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, dude. I've seen these coffee snobs. Okay, and like if he's
Do you
if
think
he-
he's a coffee snob?
I'm not sure, but if he is, we might have to renegotiate him being a part of the
Oh
team.
my god.
Dude, I'm the biggest coffee guy you'll ever meet.
Well,
Sorry.
there's
The real
different-
question is, do you drink coffee with your creamer or creamer with your coffee?
Yeah.
Good question. I had never thought of that.
All right, well.
Well, the real question is, how much creamer do you put in?
Yeah,
your coffee?
is it like white girl creamer or is it like, just
It's-
a touch?
It's Coffee Mate cinnamon vanilla cream.
Oh,
and
so
it's
it's a-
about 3/4.
So it's So that's like white girl.
That's like white girl.
Nice.
Coffee. You're like a
Nice.
basic white girl.
Good
All
for
right.
you.
Sick.
Good for you, buddy. I mean, he is from California, so
Yeah,
that
it
makes
happens.
sense.
It's all right. So anyway, all right. So last night was magical. Tell us all about it. Don't leave out any details. We want to hear everything.
Let me see. That was. I mean, I kept thinking about it. That's the site of the first Super Bowl. That is site of basically the first Supercross. I imagine. I mean, that was like 40 years before I was born, but I think it's the site of the first
It is.
Super Bowl. So
Yep.
I mean, just to be at that stadium is great, and I have to say, LA traffic was. I don't think we hit traffic all day yesterday. That was great.
Wow.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's a shock.
But yeah, the stadium is much better than I ever thought it would be. It's so cool.
Which
So
is
cool.
Which is impressive with it being like 100 years old or
Well,
whatever.
I mean, that's where USC plays there, so like
Yeah,
they can't
yeah,
let
they
it go.
keep
to-
it up,
and they
yeah.
got to do the Olympics in 5 years.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah, well,
Good idea.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be super expensive.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. Oh, my dog's trying to get in my room. Shelby. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Hi, Shelby. Anyway, no, it was. I'm not gonna forget that for a long time.
What was the crowd like, man? Like big? Everybody into it?
It was- oh yeah, a lot of Deegan shirts in the crowd. I know.
Shocking.
Real shocker there.
Shocking.
I noticed when I got in the pits.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty into it. The crowd, more into Jordan Smith than Hayden Deegan. Surprisingly,
Love
I feel
it.
like.
Love it.
It was great. It was a good crowd. It was packed. It was really packed.
Interesting.
Do you feel it was like a lot of like casual fans, people just going because hey, this is Supercross, never seen it, or do you kind of feel like there was a mixture of that and actual core fans? Because I assume with LA, you're probably going to get a lot of split there.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's all casual. I did see a lot of industry people. That was pretty much the only like core people
Yeah.
that I saw was the industry people, like Chase Marquier. Do you guys remember him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was sitting about a few rows up from me, and then yeah, a lot of like old privateers I noticed were there. Not
Well,
old, but
I mean,
raced a while.
a lot of those dudes live in Orange County, so it's not like that
Oh,
far.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you in the pits did they have the Triumph bikes set up in the pit somewhere?
I didn't see them, and unfortunately, I missed them on the track too. I'm bummed, dude.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's I mean, it was a weird night for things like between the
Yeah.
All Stars being before, which
yeah, that pissed me. Dude,
don't get started on it. It's coming up.
Oh.
That's my rant. It's
oh
coming
my
up.
god. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm watching the faces right now. I'm like,
Did
but,
the go ahead.
what's up? No, go ahead.
Well, you said you had a bunch of notes on the race.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear
had-
let's hear your notables on the race here.
So if Kenny can keep up with Jet, Eli can beat Jet. That's my note from the 450.
Tend to agree with that statement, buddy.
I think that you, sir, are going to be not welcome back on the show anytime
I
soon.
tend to agree with him on that one. I was
Hey.
thinking the same thing, but go ahead.
No, Justin,
Yeah.
dude. After after both 450 motos, I get a text from Travis saying 17-0.
Oh, I know, dude. He texted the same thing to the group chat that him, me, and Cole are on, and I didn't even respond to it. I'm like, dude, it's too late in the night for that shit. I'm like, I can't handle this. It's 12:30. I've been up for like 18 hours. I don't care.
No, it was funny though.
Oh man, no, dude, like he's all on board with this whole 17-0. I mean, clearly you watched the last show, so like he's gonna stick with it.
Yeah, dude, that last show was great. By the way, that's all I.
But I do agree with your point on the Eli thing. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but obviously, you know, a lot of things that Jet's got to work on over the wintertime with bike setup, but it all depends on where Eli's health is. But yeah, I mean, I think that if Kenny can latch on to him and pace him and keep him honest and, you know, Chase doing Chase things, I mean, like, dude, the difference is, you know, and I know a lot of people would agree with this statement is if that's Eli out front with a 4.4 second lead or whatever it was when Chase hit the deck, Eli ain't doing that. Eli's not making that dumb mistake. So I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting 2024 season.
Exactly. And you throw Hunter in the mix too.
Oh we'll talk about Hunter when we do our Supercross preview show. I don't really know if I'm on that bandwagon. Like same thing with Coach thinking he's gonna beat Jet, but you know
We'll get to that.
We'll get to
talk
that.
250s here.
Yeah.
All right, and I don't want to start anything on Deegan, but I have noticed something being at these races. I don't know if you guys have noticed it too. The Star Yamaha bikes sound a lot different. Like they're. Have you noticed that?
Well, you know, it's all the big bore kits.
Different from like what?
Like I was. Who was that? Who was it? I think it was like Tom Vial or something. Just they sound. They sound like, I want to say deeper than it's probably all that damn horsepower they have. I don't know. Just if you watch even on the broadcast, I feel like you can feel it too or hear it too. But I don't know. I noticed that last night, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it's interesting. I feel like that's stuff that you can only see or hear while you're there. You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But anyway, my one note on Deegan and Jet. So the first rhythm section where pretty much all the 450 guys by the end of the night were going triple or quad onto the table. I was really hoping Deegan wasn't going to try that because Deegan was going to die on that.
I mean, he definitely would have been the 250 guy to send it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would have been the guy. I'm glad he didn't try it though for his own safety.
Yeah.
Well, did either of you see in because Race Day Lives, I don't know, they barely caught it because like they had the camera moving away, but in the second 450 session, Coop after that section, the triple, and then you hit the left hander, and then where everybody was going, what was it? 2 table over. Coop.
Yeah, 2 over 3.
Yeah, Coop actually went. What did he go? 2 over 3. So he actually went roll, and then he went over the table, and then basically doubled out of the corner. And he only did it once, but you were stretching it out. Like I'd have to go back and watch it to like see how he exactly set up for it. But he basically went over the table in the middle, and then doubled into the corner and realized, or singled into the corner and realized like how slow that was, how hard you had to check up to not launch into the right hander. But I was like, yeah. I was like, because I would have saw the track memo, I was like, dude, because I honestly thought a lot of those guys were gonna like go onto the table from the beginning of the rhythm section, and just obviously the fucking face was too flat. But yeah, I was wondering how many people actually saw that because Race Day Live almost missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw Deegan. So they go under the tunnel. They hit that wall turn where Jason Anderson ghost rode his bike, and then they come back across, and then they hit the wall, and then the double. I noticed Deegan in practice, and he did it once in one of the mains too. Jumped like double singled it. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, jumped off the wall.
Yeah, he barely caught it on the broadcast because I've watched the first 250 moto on the broadcast.
Yeah, you know who was actually the first person to do that? Derek Kelly did it in the LCQ.
Really?
Yeah, he did it and realized that like no drive into the face, and then you were just kind of floating forward. How much time you were actually spending in the air, and he's like, I'm not doing that again.
Interesting.
No, but it just wasn't fast.
No, I caught Deegan. I wish I got it on video, but I caught Deegan doing it in practice.
Okay, maybe he did, and that's maybe where Derek Kelly. But like the first time I'd saw anybody do it was Derek Kelly did in the LCQ with like I don't know 2 laps to go or some shit. But I mean, it just wasn't faster. It's just the face was too vertical, and you just had no drive going into it. So like there was, I don't know.
No, that's it. I have to say, when this whole super motocross stuff got announced, I wasn't too pumped on it. Seeing it, it turned out better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Cooksey and Coach were talking about that. We were like, for all the shit we talked about this turned out being a lot more entertaining than we thought it was going to be. So it passed the eye test, passed the sniff test. I mean, you went into last night and with that, triple points even, it was...
We need to work on the point system a little bit because I think it's a little...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we thought it was great last night because there were so many different things that you could do, like so many different ways that people... I mean, look, in the 250 class, at one point, Jordan Smith was winning, which is fucking wild.
I actually, and this is for another show.
And then
Go ahead.
And then he did things.
Well, got a little help from Dylan Schwartz.
Dylan Schwartz was a fucking...
Yeah,
he came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, he had to just take out both guys that were, But no, I actually, and we'll talk about we can maybe talk about this on a different show, but I started thinking about, I kind of actually like the format of, hey man, like you guys are seated, you actually make qualifying worth a damn going into the motos, and then you do your LCQs during the day. And then we just have 2 20-minute plus one and 2 15+1 instead of doing the heats and the LCQs. Because I kind of like it because, once again, we'd have to do a show where I go more in depth on my thought on this. But just the easiest way to explain it is it makes everything mean more every time you touch the track.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey man, like I qualified 7th during the day. It doesn't really matter because my heat race doesn't matter.
Think about if you did it too, and all the unseated guys were trying to get into.
So you can already see where I'm coming from this.
Qualifying it would get to the LCQ to even get into the night show. Yeah, no,
it would make every time guys are on track worth something. Whereas like half the time, let's be real, you go to a Supercross race, the only thing that matters is 1 lap heater in practice. And the mains.
In
the main, everything else doesn't really matter to these dudes.
Nope,
so
not at all. So. All right, what else you got, man? What else did you see? See?
I didn't go outside the stadium where they go outside the stadium, but
the peristyle.
That was the peristyle. Yeah, that was really cool to watch, though. I mean, I got chills when they're dropping back down and going up. I'm getting flashbacks to Larry Brooks that one year clipping the wall and.
Well, did they have a big screen up there? Because I was thinking about, I was like, yeah, that'd be a cool spot for like during qualifying, but during the races, I feel like that'd have been a shit spot to stand.
I didn't see a big screen out there, so I can't comment.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, that'd be cool during practice, but I'm like during the races, I'm like, you're probably not gonna see much. But
yeah, those, where they went in and came out, that was super narrow. So I was really hoping we didn't have a Larry Brooks situation, but thank you didn't.
Yeah, Kev, we talked to Kev right before we talked to you, and he said that was the only downside to all that up there was it was very narrow, and then the split lane thing coming back in, he's like, it didn't work, and everybody just went to the inside. So
well, you couldn't use the outside to your advantage because you had to check up so hard, so you had to launch off of it. And I mean, dude, even like in practice, like Chase was manualing over that face because he didn't want to launch down into the bottom.
Yeah.
So like, but that's gonna happen though. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So. All right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think he's watching the race.
Oh, sorry. I did notice in the stadium. So we were on the opposite side of the peristyles, but I noticed the amount of time that Jet would make up coming down that hill and into the sand. That was noticeable. Like that was noticeable. He was faster there, and then obviously crazy line before the what's it called, the big triple.
Yeah.
That was where he was making up the time, and eventually everybody did pick up on that. But yeah, I noticed now watching that Chase and Jet were the first ones to pick up on it. I'm a little surprised that Kenny had the balls to do it. Just knowing what he's been through, with that scary, that was pretty cool. Like Kenny, I feel like Kenny's got more confidence on the Suzuki, which is wild to say.
Yeah. That second 450 moto, did you happen to notice anywhere where Chase was making a lot of time to put that gap in on the guys, or was it just kind of an all-over thing? Because, like, they weren't really showing him on the broadcast, so we couldn't really tell, like, where he was actually pulling away from those guys.
The only section I could tell that he was making up the time was that triple or quad onto the table. he was flying over that. I think he had like more dry, like he was sending it over that. And I think that's where he got most of his gap. I couldn't tell the rest of the track, but that was the one section that he was clearly faster than those guys. Oh, that tabletop section. That was right in front of where we were sitting. So you could.
Okay. Anything else you got on your notes, man?
Let me see. At any point did you think Deegan was going to ghost ride?
I didn't.
I did. I thought for sure that was going to happen. And that's the second part of my rant, so I won't get into it too much here. But yeah, I did. I did think it there's more to come later in the show. But yes,
Travis thinks it was a big miss that he didn't do it. I'll just say for me, since I don't have a rant on this, I don't think he did. I didn't think he was going to do it. I thought the only way he was going to do it is if he actually won the main, actually won it. And then I started thinking about, even if he won it, like it's him. Bobby was probably going, Bobby Regan, he's probably going, don't you fucking ghost ride my bike, I swear to God. So
no, I know.
No, I didn't think at all at any point he was actually going to do it. I don't know, man. Like dude, I understand it's just as simple as stepping off the bike, but with the way these faces are nowadays, like so many of those things could go wrong, and he's just probably like, man, I know my dad did it, it would have been cool all these years later, but it's just not worth something stupid happening.
Yeah. I once Kitchen was in front of him, I kind of ruled that out. And honestly, I thought Joe was going to pass him or get it.
Yeah. Because
Joe comes on late in the race, and he did in that first one, kind of. Joe, a little unimpressive all day. Honestly, he wasn't Chicago Joe, I'll call him. But no, it was fun though. I had a blast.
Sweet.
And
awesome.
What else? I'm trying to think of something else. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I'll remember like 10,000 things once I get off.
That's okay.
Because that's normally how it goes. No, did you hear something? Did you hear Levi Kitchen's tear-off story?
Dude, yeah.
I think
that was
awesome.
crazy. That was awesome, though.
Fucking Levi. Swear to God, that kid pisses me off.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this part of the show.
Kid, yeah.
That was good, though. I've seen that. Stu did that before, too. Just took all the tear-offs off his goggles on the line, handed them to his mechanic, and said, yeah, I don't need these.
It's ballsy.
It's ballsy.
I mean, Supercross is definitely a lot easier than going outdoors, but it's ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to Chase, who I got some inside information, he never pulls the tear-offs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when you got laminates on and there's like 50 of them, and it's like looking through a brick wall.
What do you mean he never? What do you mean he never pulls tear-offs? Like even during the race?
So I caught up with Shane Doyle after the race, and he actually gave me a pair of goggles from practice.
Okay.
And it's got full tear-offs on it. He told me, he never pulls tear-offs. Never.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's weird. He probably a whole bunch when he went head first in the sand, though.
Look, bro, maybe that's why he's tucking the front all the time. He can't see out of his fucking goggles.
That's probably it.
Okay, Chase, those are there. Pull them.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. He's gonna go out like that on Honda.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's got a point to prove. He's not super happy, but we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting offseason with him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
While I'm here, and I got this question, Justin. How do you think MX of Nations is gonna go for USA?
Well, we're going to talk about that later in the show, but
we can talk about it right now.
So you want to just dive into it?
You can, go for it. Give us your spiel. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say outside of what we said kind of last week. So
honestly, I think it's going to be a rough day, especially for the fact that we're in France and the French fans are so over the top that I don't know what it is, but it just is always giving a boost to the French team. Look, man, I like all the guys on our team. I like AP. I've known the kid for a long time. I've always been a fan of Christian. Like RJ. Like, I think when he's on, he's one of the best dudes in the world on a 250. But Erne is such a different animal. There's going to be such a crazy vibe. I know Steve and all the pundits think that, oh, yeah, we get on the box. And Travis and me talked about this on the way to Chicago. I think we'll be lucky to get 6th or 7th overall.
Wow.
And I think RJ, if this version of RJ shows up, he could be the one bright spot. But even if you go down through the list with like the shuffling of the classes, about like Prado's going to be an open instead of MX1. You know, they're putting Ruben Fernandez in there. They're changing some guys. Like William Everett's going to be on a 450 and not a 350.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
you start looking at like AP, okay? Like, dude, he's not going to beat Jet. He's not going to beat Renault. He's not going to beat Fevre. He's not going to beat Prado. He's not going to beat Gertz. You know, and then you got Christian. Who knows what he's going to do? Like, RJ might do the best, but I think qualifying is going to be super rough, so we're going to have a shit gate pick. And I don't see us getting in the top 5. Like, I don't see how it's possible. Like, the teams this year, I mean, obviously we're missing them some star power with Hurlings not being there, but like you go through the teams and they're all stacked. I mean, this is like even Germany is good with Roczen and Langenfelder. So I don't know, man. You look through the list and like who would you give the best chance to? Like even Christian, like what's he gonna get? Like 10th, 12th? Like, dude, he's gonna get smacked around by a bunch of MX2 guys. Like, let's be real. Like, he's not gonna beat Hunter who knows how Hunter's going to feel after this race, but I don't know. They'll probably shoot up with cortisone. I don't see him beating Vial. I don't see him beating Kunin. I don't see him beating Langenfelder. So I wish I could say that I feel like we could be top 5, but I don't see it. We're not beating Australia. We're not beating Belgium. We're not beating France. Like, we're not beating Netherlands. Spain's really good. So I don't know. I wish we could be better, but we've always struggled when we go to France for MX of Nations. So,
what do you think?
Well, I gotta ask you, Justin. So I've heard about 2009. We went in with Dungey, who was it, Tedesco,
and Weimer. Yep.
Weimer. Wasn't it the same vibe that we couldn't win?
No, because if you think about it, Dungey had just come off an MX2 title, so like that was the first time in the in the 450 class. Weimer had been like, yeah, nobody thought we could win, but you were talking about guys that had actually been battling that year in our own series for like wins and podiums. Like I know AP's been on the box, but Christian's been out. It's been what? Glendale? Was it Glendale that he crashed?
Glendale.
So that was what? February?
That was a long time ago.
February. So okay, I know he's been riding. I've seen his videos on the out. Like he's been getting that biked out in him, but he's been riding it like Spiderwick or whatever the hell it is.
Spider MX.
Spider MX. Like RJ is either on or off. Let's be real. And AP couldn't even win a moto in our own series. So, like, I get that, and it was a different vibe, but we don't even have a champion from our own series going, or a guy that even, you know, won a race. Whereas Dunge, like I said, he won the MX2 title. Like, Tedesco had battled for podiums. You know, Weimer was probably the second best American that year in the lights class. So, I wish I could say there could be that vibe, but the other teams weren't as good as the teams are. I mean, dude, Australia, like, you know, we see with Jet and Hunter, France with Fevre, Vial, and Renault. I don't know. I wish I could say it'd be the same thing, but we don't even have a champion from our own class going.
Interesting.
And I mean, Geyser's rounding into Form 2 as well. So like, that's going to be a struggle. Like Slovenia is not going to get on the box or even get top 5 or probably even top 10. But Geyser could sure as shit go out and win both of his motos.
Yeah. Big caveat here, too. If Hurlings is healthy, him and Geyser are going to go at it next year in GPs.
Well, right. That depends on if Hurlings decides to not take a year off and just, you know, come over here.
True. Well, if he comes over here, he's whooping Jet around. So.
Fake news.
Look, man, I believe the same thing, but Hurlings has just got to focus on being healthy and just not having bad juju go his way. Like, he's got so much issues. I know Travis and me have debated all this time, but I still feel like Hurlings, when he's 100%, is the fastest dude in the world on an outdoor track. On an outdoor track. Not on a Supercross, on an outdoor track. But Hurlings hasn't been healthy since like 2021. So, you know.
He's fragile.
I mean, you're not wrong, and you look at the sense that he just gets hurt all the time.
He's fragile.
It's just stupid stuff. So
just like Hunter.
We'll see. I'm actually more looking forward to his last year of his contract when he comes over here, because honestly, at this point, like him racing GPs, it doesn't even really matter anymore.
No one cares.
Not about GPs.
No.
Not for him. I mean, he's done everything. Like, whatever. You know, he's not winning as many Cairoli championships. He's already matched Everett. So why does it? It doesn't really matter anymore at this point for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he didn't get hurt the first time this year, he was probably going to win that championship.
Oh, he would have won this championship. He would have won last year. He would have won 2020. Like, he would have won them all.
Yeah.
Like, I like Geyser a lot. Like, Timmy G is one of my favorite guys, but, you know, he has not beat Hurling straight up for a championship when Hurling's has stayed healthy. But, you know, you got to be there.
Mm.
Whoa. All right.
Whoa.
Anything else you want to talk about, man?
You guys want to come down for A1?
Absolutely fucking not. I'm not coming to California for a long time.
Travis hates California just as much as he hates Chicago.
I don't like going to communist countries.
Oh, boy. We're not going to get into politics.
We might.
I don't want to.
Hey, we'll meet at Milton. How about that?
Meet where?
So,
I still didn't hear what he
I
said.
didn't hear what you said either. You cut out.
Millville, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we might be able to do that.
I'm starting to save my money for that one.
That-a-boy.
There you go, buddy.
That-a-boy. So, all right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
everything you do for us, man. Really appreciate it. And yeah, and we'll, we're going into off season here. I do have some shirts coming your way. I gotta place another shirt order with a couple for some of the newer, or some of the, I gotta get a couple more shirts so I can send you some of the new colorways here. So I'll have some of that coming your way here before we start the 2024 season.
And I do have a normal job, so if I can make it out to the test track this year, I definitely will, but no promises on that one.
That's okay. Whatever you can do is fine. So
Okay.
we'll make it happen. But all right, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
later.
it.
All right, Isaac Gonzales, everybody. West Coast contributor there.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he hangs out with us as dickheads.
No, we're a bunch of assholes.
Whatever. So, anyway, all right. Cool. Okay. Let me get into my fucking Holster Co. Reload rant here.
Okay.
Holster Co. Reload rant. Link in the description down below. Make sure to check out Holster Co. Mike and them. Great people. Go buy a bunch of stuff from them. Why the fuck was the All-Star race before the fucking night show started? Do you know how pissed off I was when I turned it on and that race was over?
Dude, this is just like the last round in Utah. Like, they remember when they did it during the day or before the night show? Like, it actually went
Like, what
live?
the fuck?
Nobody told that.
What the fuck?
Like, you even look at the schedule when it didn't. Because I was looking at the schedule. I was like, well, how are they going to do this when they have the KTM Juniors or whatever the hell they're called now? How are they going to fit that in? And
I
if you
didn't
even look at
realize they had KTM Juniors. So
well,
that was my first thing.
I was looking at the schedule because I wanted to look at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting how they're gonna fit it in, you know, like how they're gonna manage that or whatever. And even if you look at it, like something looked weird, but it's still lined up with like after the 450 main. And then so I'm like, all right, I don't give a shit about the pre-show. Like I'm gonna put it on 5 minutes before we go live.
Bingo.
And then I get on there and we have like 2 minutes to go. And thankfully I didn't look in the top corner to see what the results were. So I'm like rewind, but I'm like, what the fuck
no,
is this?
I turned it on right as Adams won and went, oh, fuck me.
I'm like,
Great.
what is this shit?
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
they did the same thing at the round in Utah when Cochran won.
the 65s and the 85s run the night show,
Yeah.
and then you get to the 250 All-Stars, which I'm like, okay, this will be sweet. Like, we can watch, these future kids ride, because I enjoy the futures thing to kind of, like, start seeing what's coming next. And then, of course, nope,
Like
sorry.
we
Fuck
couldn't have
you.
done the KTM stuff and then the futures like could be at the night.
Yeah, like the KTMs couldn't do
because they didn't even
first
show
thing.
them. So like, why does it matter when the KTMs? You're not showing it on TV.
Yeah.
You're showing the highlights.
I don't understand.
Put the futures on like we always do. Like it's a big
Why
deal.
did we have KTM Juniors anyway?
I
We
don't
haven't
know,
had KTM Juniors at the other two fucking
Yeah,
rounds.
I don't know. I don't know why. That was stupid.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was dumb. I agree.
I was so fucking
I was like,
pissed.
what is this shit? Like, what the fuck? Like, if I'd have known that, I'd have watched it. But I don't ever watch the pre-show because I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I was watching some football game with my buddy, hoping he was winning a bunch of money so I didn't have to pay for vacation. Because that was the deal I made.
Yeah, so that was a little stupid. I don't get it. Like, at least let people know. Like, let everybody know on Race Day Live, because it's not like you don't know on Race Day Live. You're not
Yeah.
just going to, like, spring this. So, hey, guys, you're going on, 20 minutes before the night show starts. Like, you knew at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Let us know on Race Day Live instead of just being like, oh.
Oh, here's a great idea. How about we just keep the fucking schedule the same?
no.
If we're going to have these fucking oddball amateur races at these things, they're just in the middle between the two mains. You want to do something? Again, makes no fucking sense. Let's do KTM Juniors at this race. What the fuck? Why?
Yeah, we
haven't had it any of these 3 rounds.
We haven't had KTM Junior since, like,
Great.
what, Supercross? Like, round
yeah.
whatever?
Whatever, probably Salt Lake City. I think they were at Salt
maybe,
Lake City,
I don't
but
know.
whatever. I'm just like, I don't fucking. I was pissed.
No, I was stupid. I was like, fucking, yeah, I don't know. Because like a lot of those dudes, like I was curious. I was like, okay, well, how's Drew Adams gonna do? I've watched him ride some Supercross, but like now, like a little bit more pressure. How's Janet gonna do? Towers, like, I was like, okay, because those guys are gonna be riding the futures.
I'll tell you how Towers did.
Oh, dude, bummer.
Towers
Bummer.
just cost himself a Star Yamaha ride.
Bummer. So yeah,
Went a little wild. Got a little short. You see that cartwheel by
Parker Ross.
Oh yeah, on Friday. Fucking gnarly.
yeah. You mean the same thing like Seth did?
Yeah. Hey, is that Noah Vinny kid ever gonna do anything?
No.
Or just crash his brains
No.
out all the time? 'Cause
No, man.
Holy shit.
He's just a SoCal kid or wherever. I think he's from SoCal. That
Yeah.
just whatever. He doesn't really have to.
That was also just wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, so that's been your Holtz Coat reload rant. A couple other things here. So schedule comes out for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Alabama, going to Philadelphia. We're back to St. Louis, Nashville.
I'm happy we're back in St. Louis.
Detroit's really early in the year. That's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We're making truck drivers literally do crisscross across the East Coast.
Yeah, who knows? Outdoors is all the same. No SMX venues yet.
Well, we know Chicago's
Probably going to be
because
one.
we heard
So that's
rumor,
interesting.
whatever.
But outside of that, yeah,
I
we're
am curious
not
where
going to Atlanta. So that's
and I feel like they're doing that because we're doing speedway rounds. So we're like, oh, outside of Daytona, we're not going to do
Yeah.
another speedway. And I am curious though if we do go back to Chicago. Okay, because we heard that rumor at Chicago, and it came from someone at Feld.
Yep.
So okay, so you can kind of mark Chicago in there, whether it be the first, middle round. It's not going to be the last round. Mm-hmm. It does make me wonder, since we heard, L.A., unless they sold out, like they're not coming back there. It was a one-time deal, whatever, and they clearly didn't
I
sell
thought
it.
they didn't say sold out. I thought they said it was not going back there, period.
Well, that's what a certain someone that would possibly sway them. That's what he said. He was like, outside of them selling out and doing ridiculous, at least that's what I heard him say. But either way, we're not going back. It was a one-time deal, like first Supercross race there ever, first SMX race. Like I get it. I get why we went there.
Think we go back to Vegas?
No, man. Remember what Homeboy said, that like it cost him too much money?
Yeah, but why would we not go to Vegas to the Speedway?
Because I think it's going to cost him too much money.
I don't know.
I don't think we're
DMG
going back.
Group own the Speedway?
I don't think we're going back to Vegas. Which
I don't know. I heard it was in the cards.
We did hear it was in the cards.
I heard it was in the cards
We
from
did.
people higher than the person that was telling us the other things.
But I think that might be if it's possible down the road. I'm just talking about solely next year. Where the hell are we going then?
I heard we're going back. I heard we're going back to Charlotte, but I heard we're going to the Speedway.
Okay,
I heard
so-
we're going to the big track.
All right, so if we're doing that and we're doing Chicago again, cool, set, whatever. They went swimmingly.
And then we're going to Vegas.
I don't see that happening, man. I don't see it happening.
Bet we go to
No,
Vegas.
I don't think so.
Finish it off.
Nope, I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
100% chance.
I don't think so.
95%.
No, I
chance.
think it's like 10.
I give it 95. I bet we're going to the Speedway in Vegas to finish it off.
I don't think so.
It'd
Maybe
be
we go to
super
Texas. Maybe we go to Coda.
We're not going to Texas.
I think we should though.
We're not going to Coda.
We should.
Because there isn't a race in October in Coda.
I think we should.
We're not going to Coda.
Well, they're definitely not going with that race during that other race, because that other race won't let that race go, because that other race has more money than this race.
Yeah, I know.
So,
But that's fine too, because the other race doesn't happen in October either. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I would not be surprised if we go Charlotte, Chicago, Vegas.
Charlotte, Chicago, and I just don't know where else we would go.
Vegas.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I mean, dude, this is like Deegan going to Star. Just put the pieces together.
I just don't know where else would even be possible. Like, there's not a lot of venues that we could go to that could hold what they're trying to do.
Vegas. Whatever. Not the stadium. The Motor Speedway.
I still think
There's drag strip there too.
No, God, we're doing that again. Yeah, I don't know. The schedule is weird. Outdoors is always going to be what it's going to be. The schedule is weird.
I mean, think about it. Where do you want to finish your, big championship?
Dude, I think a lot of people are over going to Vegas. I think a lot of people are
Everybody
over
wants to go back to Vegas. Nobody wants to go to Salt Lake City to finish it out. Everybody fucking hates Salt Lake City outside of Feld because Feld gets paid to go there.
I don't know why you would hate Salt Lake City. It's a hell of a lot better place than
They like
fucking
going
Vegas.
there, but not for the finals. Let's face it. What do you want to do when you win a championship?
Party.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Not a huge party scene in Salt Lake City.
No.
LA was fine yesterday. Okay, cool.
Look, man,
That's cool.
I just don't like Vegas.
What?
That stadium's a shithole.
What stadium?
This when we used to go to whatchamacallit.
Yeah, that's not in the cards anymore.
I know.
We're gonna
I'm
go to
just-
the Speedway.
Well, I don't think the Speedway's much better.
I'm sure the Speedway's nice. Speedway's not as old as Sam
Look, you and me
Boyd.
have both been to Las Vegas a lot of times. Not a lot of nice things in Las Vegas.
I don't really need to go back, but
Exactly.
you know,
I don't
whatever.
like. I went to that place a lot. I don't like it.
But I will lay you a bunch of money that's where we're going.
all right, hypothetically, if we didn't go to Vegas, where would we go?
I don't even know because they're going to want to take it somewhere big to finish it, which is going to be Vegas.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I'm sailing this ship already, and when I'm correct on this, I'm going to replay this in the fucking
Go ahead.
short with it.
That's
that
fine.
Called it in fucking
Look, man, I don't think we will.
September
but
24th,
I don't have an answer.
2023.
I don't have an
that
answer
We're going to
where we go.
Vegas to finish off
maybe.
the year.
Maybe.
I just don't see how the fuck you
No,
do
I
it
don't either.
any place else.
I don't either. I just don't know. Anyways,
So
schedule is good. I mean,
yeah, outdoors is the same.
it's
So
always gonna be
whatever.
the same.
All right. There we are. It was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any thoughts on this Prado bike fire?
Oh well, I definitely for a second thought because I had a little
Hmm.
little tidbit when you said Prado, but we went somewhere.
we went in different directions.
Well, I have something to say about Prado, but it's not the bike fire.
Well, we can talk about what you have to say after you talk about
the bike
his
fire. I
bike
mean,
starting
dude,
on
like,
fire.
dude, they just do it better than we do.
Who burns a
Celebration.
factory bike to the ground, bro?
Look, man, DeCarli's got a lot of money. It's fine.
It's unfucking real.
Look, dude, they just do it harder over there, bro.
I'm not upset about it. It's
it was
just
funny.
wild.
It was funny. They didn't give a shit. Everybody just walked away from there like, well, that's just a good way to burn $100,000.
$100,000. Sure.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, what did you have to say about Prado?
I don't have anything to say about Prado. It's something that there was actually. It's not even a rumor because he made this like he confirmed this with a Spanish. I don't know if it's a Spanish team, a Spanish radio, a Spanish like. He's coming over here for Supercross next year.
To ride for who?
That's what he's being very vague with it, but he confirmed this. He's like, I am coming.
But-
No. This is different. He's like, no, it's signed, sealed. Like, I am coming over. Remember how a certain somebody was like, oh, he's doing it for
I was
leverage?
gonna say we were told,
But that's different.
We were told if he wasn't getting what he wanted, he was gonna say that.
Maybe he is getting what he wanted. He just won a championship. Maybe he is getting what he wanted, but he
That would be
confirmed it.
wild.
He confirmed it today with some span. I don't know who it was.
It would be wild to me though that he's put in all this work and everything, and he wins one big bike title over there, and it's then like, okay, cool. Now I want to go to the next thing. Like, I mean, it's not unheard
Look,
of.
dude,
but it's
Prado's
just
been all about this
wild.
American dream for a while now. He's been all about this American dream, dude. And here's the thing: he's still young enough, and that kid has got the talent to get it figured out.
Until a team is announced, I'm still going with he's just using it for leverage at this point. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about it. It's fine.
But see, here's the difference, though. And I know that a certain someone said leverage, and we all know that that's the game he's played. The difference is, and you can go back and look at his comments. He said, "Oh, it's a possibility." He confirmed it. He's like, "I am coming over." Before he was like, "I'm not ruling it out. I'm not doing this." It's all in the wording. He's like, "I am coming over." Pre-MXGP, I'm coming over. Now, here's where there might be a little bit of like interpretation. He's like, "I'm coming over for Supercross." Does that mean he's coming over to just ride Supercross to get used to it? Or does that mean he's dropping in and he's going to race some? That's where the thing, it could be like, hey.
And wait, they make it sound like he was going to race the GPs then next year too?
No, he is. He said pre-MXGP season. Because their season starts in like late February, early March. I don't know what their schedule is going to be.
Interesting. Well,
So, like,
this will
if
be
it-
interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because I mean, it could be one of those things where he's just coming over, getting dialed in, going to the gas track, like, hey, and then we're gonna make a run when I actually come over, or if he's just actually dropping in, and then you're right, like, because what we heard in Chicago, if he drops in, like, that's a fucking shakeup for the team that he's riding for, because that means like somebody's not gonna be happy.
Weird.
But that's very interesting. I saw that and I'm like, that's
to make you go,
weird.
huh.
But hey, man, like we kind of talked about with that certain somebody in Chicago, more talent we over here makes our series better.
Yeah.
And like I said, Prado's young enough and he's sure shit got the talent to get it figured out. I'm not saying winning championships and doing all this shit, but he's got the talent to figure it out. So
Yeah.
hey, one more dude,
Yep.
cool with it.
Yep. Anything else we want to talk about that's not have to do with the 250 class here?
No.
Before we get started on that?
No.
All right. Well then, let's get started. 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Make sure to check them out for all your graphics needs. Links in the description down below.
Getting right into it.
We're getting right into it.
Fucking
First
right
up, Deegan Danger Zone brought to you by our friends at Isaac Nelson Design. So Deegan goes 5-2 for first and wins the inaugural Super
Humpty
Motocross
Dumpty sat on a wall.
World Championship title.
Wild.
If you'd have asked me in January at A2 if Hayden Deegan was going to win any one of these 3 titles this year, I would have told you were fucking crazy. And yet, here we are. He has a number 1 plate.
He does. Congrats, man. Congratulations to the kid.
Fucking A.
Congrats to the kid, man. Hey, congratulations to the kid. Like he persevered through a lot of shit. Like you said, I love the haters. They motivate me. Like as a kid.
Thank you for the shout out, by the way. Really appreciate it, Hayden.
Yeah. Hey, man. Like, look, dude. We're very critical. We've backed off a lot in the last couple months.
I wouldn't even call us critical.
Well, we're just
We
being
said
realistic. We're
the
being realistic.
same shit
Yeah,
that everyone else has said all year long, including his own camp, has said the same shit we're saying. The problem is that people come out here, just like last night, 5 seconds after he won, my phone, brrr, on videos from 3 months ago.
Oh, really? No
Fuck.
shit. Really?
Dude,
Wow.
comments.
Like how much time do you have on your hands to go back in videos that
How
we
do
posted
you
3 months?
remember this? I can't remember a video I watched 25 minutes ago,
I don't
let
remember-
alone something I watched months ago.
Man, I don't remember what I had breakfast this morning. Like, how do you remember what exactly said?
Unbelievable.
But that's why I have a hard time getting behind the whole Deegan hype because of his fans like that. I can't stand people that don't have a life that they will literally go back shit we said months ago. Be like, I told you so. I told you so.
I don't associate him with them though. I mean, like it's great that he has his fans and stuff, and like it's great what he's doing for the sport with bringing the fans in and everything. That's fucking awesome. They're out of control, but they also pay the fucking bills. So, all right, sweet dude, cool, awesome, thank you. I can't believe he has a number 1 plate. I'm just gonna say it again. I can't believe he has a number 1 plate.
I also definitely
and I'm just one more time, so we have a title for the video. I cannot believe he has a number 1 plate.
Well, here's the thing that is unbelievable to me. If you would have told me he would have won this SMX, granted there was a lot of shit that happened, so you can't. And we'll get into it. We can't just sweep that underneath the rug.
Nope. Oh boy, here we go. Here come the comments.
No, like I definitely.
Boy.
Oh,
you know, they weren't really crucifying you. They didn't agree with you necessarily, but they weren't crucifying you about the Kenny Jet situation last week. Now you're about to get. You know what? I think I got some 2x4s. We'll just get a cross going here for later. So go ahead.
Look, man, I don't think what I'm going to say is that bad. I think it's pretty
Oh
honest.
boy, here we go. This means it's going to be really. I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's not. Listen,
this is gonna get really bad. Okay. All right.
Listen,
Comment down
seriously.
below. Comment down below. Here we go.
Seriously, all right, listen.
Okay.
It's not that bad. I swear. If you'd have told me he would have won the title by winning one fucking race and the rest of them just getting dropped.
Oh fuck! Here it comes.
Sorry, guys. Like I couldn't do it. Like, man, I gotta get in there. He won the
Holy shit! I'm not sure you're like, dude. Like emotionally, I feel like you're more fragile than me. And like, here we go. Now I'm gonna have to deal with this.
I think it's funny, dude, because look, I will give the kid. It's what I do with Jet. It's what I do with Jet. I give the kid all the credit because I'm about to go in on Levi when we talk about Levi.
We'll get to that soon here too.
I give the kid all the credit in the world. Congratulations, Hayden Deegan. You are a 250 champion. Like, he earned it. He persevered. He showed how much talent he has at Washougal when he went 1-1 and basically fucking did it Eli Tomac style and beast moded them. He was in there at a lot of the races outdoors. He had the speed. He was fast qualifier in a lot of races. He got second in both series. He ran up front in Supercrosses. He won heat races. But it's still amazing to me that he won this title with, outside of the first race at Charlotte, he wasn't on everybody else's level. And I know there was some things that led to why he was, whatever he dealt with last week. I don't know. But dude, we watched what happened in the first main. Like, dude, he went backwards and he had arm pump, but then he talked to Duffy and he's like, hey, he's fine. Like, there's no issue. Like, we had to be better. So it's like, I don't really know. And we know that these guys, like, especially it's your dad, and he's going to stick up for you. And that's fine. Like, shit happens. You're not always going to be the fastest guy. It's like what I say about Jet. He's not always going to be the fastest guy. It's fine. Second, Levi did what he did to him early this year in outdoors. I think that's the shockingest thing to me is I would have thought if Hayden was going to win this title, it was because he was just going to, he was going to rack up one. He was going to win races. He was going to do this. He'd do that. And if you'd have told me he would have won this title with only winning one of the 6, I think that surprises me a lot. Because, I mean, dude, we were there at Chicago. Like, dude, he was up front, and then Hunter gapped him, And then he just kept going backwards. And then the second one, he was kind of irrelevant.
He had tonsillitis and whatever wisdom teeth issues. I mean,
what? I don't.
it's a problem, dude. I mean, I've never had tonsillitis, so I can't speak on that. But I do.
I thought
know
they
that,
also said he had strep.
Yeah, he had that too. There was a lot of things. There was a lot going on in this area.
Look, man,
We're
he
not
talked
gonna-
on the podium, and I've had strep before, and he sounded fine.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm
We're
not
not
gonna
going to
comment-
dispute
not
whether
gonna
he did.
comment
I
on
don't know.
that.
I'm not in the camp. I don't care. But I think that's a shocking thing to me but it still doesn't take away the fact, hey man, you're a 250 champion and all the credit in the world. Like the kid, he was in it all year in all 3 series. He was in it. He definitely showed that he has the speed to win these titles. He's obviously going to be a title favorite next year, as deserved so. And outside of anything, he'll be on the West Coast. He'll be at A1 where everybody wants him to be. And yeah, man, like he's going to be a problem. He's good. He is very fucking good. He's got the determination. We've talked about this off the air that I don't think anything's going to deter him. I don't think the outside noise is going to deter him. But I still believe, man, it's not going to be a cakewalk for him. Like he's going to be the title favorite, but I think it's slim. Like there's a lot of guys that are just as good and that can beat him. So I think
We might argue about that coming into Supercross preview
what I've
show.
seen last night says that he's not above everybody, because Hunter wasn't even there and he didn't even win a race.
Sure.
And then the second moto at Charlotte, he didn't win the race.
I'm not going to.
And we know that outside of and there was no whoops, but that's his weak point, and he even addressed this. So that even makes it even better for him.
Yep, we got crucified for that too, and then he said it himself. So fucking
So
sweet, dude.
I understand where you're coming from, but I don't.
I don't know. We could talk about that when we get there, but
I think there's other guys that can beat him for the championship. He's not number 1 on my board. He's in that. He's a 1A.
yeah,
But there are guys. There's a lot of dudes that are just as good as him.
I'm in shock and awe that we have a number 1 plate for next season. That's impressive.
I'm curious what number he's going to go with. If he's going to go try to
38. No, he's going to go 38.
that's what I kind of figured he was going to.
That's what I've heard. So, So wow, that's okay. Cool. There we are. Deegan, your Deegan Danger Zone. I can't believe we have a number 1 plate
Look, man, we're just gonna
in our first year.
If we find out that we know he's going to go West Coast, but outside of anything crazy happening, when that gets confirmed,
I don't know. He said in the press conference, he was like, "I don't care. I'll race them both." I'm like, all right. Well, the kid wants to race.
Whatever,
Fuck it.
dude.
Let him race. Let him
we
race
might
250 on the opposite coast. Let him race.
man,
west.
just fucking throw him into the 450 class. I mean, he's next Ricky Carmichael, so why not?
He said he'd race 450s in the opposite
oh
coast
my
next
God.
year. So here we go. Let's start
whatever.
it. I want to see it.
Oh, dude, we're
I
gonna get
wanna
somebody
see it.
like,
'Cause then
he could do it. Like, dude, he could podium.
Because then we can get the Deegan
versus Jet. That'll be great.
Yes.
And then whatever. Hunter
Let's
could just continue to beat
start that
him
already.
Dude, I don't think there's going to be anything in there, even when he does. Whatever.
You're giving Jet credit. That's cute because you have to pick which one you hate less. That's fucking sweet.
Well, one's really, really accomplished, and one's not. So.
Wow, that's like the nicest thing you've
Oh,
ever
shut
said
the
about
fuck
Jet.
up! Shut
Holy
the fuck
fuck.
up!
Wow, you got a soft spot for him in there after all.
We
I just
might-
got to work a little harder to pull that
I
soft
mean,
spot to the
his
surface.
fans aren't as stupid. So, we might actually, for the first time, have to try to do a West Coast 250 preview show if we find out, because we know he's going west. Outside of anything crazy,
Yeah.
might actually have to do one because we don't ever do that because we don't know. But we might actually have to do one just because we know it's going to get views.
We don't even got to talk about the whole coast.
We just talk about Hayden.
Deegan.
Just talk about Hayden. How he's going to
Yes.
do every route. So
Yes.
how do you think Hayden's going to do here?
We're going to do a preview show on Thursday.
Exactly. It's just all about Hayden Deegan.
All about Deegan. So
That's great.
All right. So
You haters, we love you too. You fuel us.
and you make us a bunch of money.
Just, yeah.
Maybe tone it down slightly. All right. So that's been your Isaac Nelson Designs Deegan Danger Zone.
Last one of the year.
Last one of the year. That was great. So, all right. So Shimoda goes 4-4. Shimoda fucking punted Deegan that first moto, and I fucking loved it. I'm here for it.
Oh, dude, and he was.
He got them elbows out, and boom, and I was like, oh, this is.
And it wasn't even. And dude, it's not like he even center punched him. He just. Did
No, he
hey
just
man, don't leave the door.
sideswiped him.
Don't leave
Yeah.
the door open, especially on a fucking straightaway where the inside goes way to the outside.
Here's the thing. Listen to 250 press conference. I do wish somebody would have asked Deegan what he thought of that, because nobody asked him. To be honest, the end of the 250 press conference fucking sucked because nobody was asking. There was like 3 questions, and then they were like, anybody? Anybody?
I mean, I'm going to be
Anybody?
honest with you. What's he going to say? Because it's not like he's not aggressive with dudes in Supercross.
I mean, I just would have been interested to have someone actually ask him.
All right,
and
so
say,
my question-
I know there's certain things you can't ask in these press conferences. I'm not some fucking idiot
Yeah,
like a
like
lot
Jordan
of these
Smith.
people. But I would have been like, all right, dude. So Joe comes up in that first moto and like pushes you out of the way.
I don't
what's
feel
going
like
through your head?
I don't feel like you would have had an issue with it. My question to you is, if he would have snapped back and said an issue with it, what would you have thought? Do you think you would have got a lot of shit?
I don't know.
If
I'm
he
not
would have
really
if he would have clapped back and said, yeah, like that was unnecessary, do you think you would have got a lot of shit from people?
Maybe.
Because
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
dude, that was like, look, we've seen a lot.
We've seen a lot worse.
It like
It wasn't
insert
Vince
Vince Freeze. Insert Vince Freeze.
Insert Vince Freeze plowing Christian Craig.
Yeah. Maybe you should have worded that better.
Nope. That's exactly how I would word that.
Look, dude, he knows that now that he has a target on his back, he's up there. He's gonna be battling for championships. This is gonna happen, dude. Like
Yeah.
everybody, like when you're battling for championships, don't leave the door open.
The crazy thing is all sorts of shit like this happens to Joe all the time, and we're like, Joe's got to be more aggressive.
And he finally did.
And he finally did it.
And he even tried to run it in on Tom, and Tom just was a little bit smarter. So it's like, hey, man, like, good. Like, listen, Joe, that's the guy that needs to show up every round next year. That's the guy that needs to show up every round. Like, don't pussyfoot around. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's the one thing. You're too nice, and I think that he's just kind of over it.
Yeah. That was a good bribe for him, though.
I'm a little disappointed in the second moto that I don't know what he was doing half the time. I don't know if
he said he didn't like it. They fixed too much of the track.
Well, I
and
mean,
he
they
likes
did go
it when
back
it's
and
rougher.
doze everything.
So he wasn't a huge
Hey,
fan
man,
of
it's
it.
going to be good to see that number 30 on a fucking Honda, though.
Jay's asking him in the press conference what his plans were for next year and when we might be hearing anything, and we got a no comment. Lame.
Man.
Lame. Joe, love it, but lame.
I'm excited to see him on a Honda, though.
We'll see.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see him on a Honda. I just wonder what coast. I assume he'd probably go East Coast. He's going to need some time.
So they're going to put Hymas on West?
I mean, I feel like Hymas already has proven himself that he's good in Supercross. He's been on the bike for a while now.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know.
I mean, he's not a title favorite. We know that, but like the reason why I didn't last year is because we didn't want to rush him into it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he was fine in the Supercrosses he raced it, and he's been on the bike for a while.
Okay. All right. Well,
Wouldn't you put Joe on East if they were smart? Like, dude, you want all the testing time you want because he's going to be a title favorite. And I'm not saying he's not running away from Deegan. Like, he's not running away from Deegan, but like, dude, I'd rather Joe come in knowing he's a title threat, that there's no Lawrences to deal with.
be interesting to see how he handles this pressure, because he hasn't handled pressure well when there's been talk in the industry about him doing stuff, and now you're going to be the only one on that coast for that team. So
We'll see. We'll see.
Although I did hear that they kind of sold him on it for number one, he could do his own gear thing, so that was a big selling point.
Smart. I wonder if he's going to stay with Fox.
And number two, I heard the other selling point was that he was going to be the sole focus there.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Hymas still is working his way into shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. RJ goes 2-6 for 3.
That first moto was good.
He was really good.
He was ripping. A little bit old RJ
That
showed
first
up.
250 moto was so good anyway, because you had 6 dudes within 5 seconds of
That
each
was some of
other.
the best 250 racing we've seen in a
seen.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, dude, the second main, he just shit start, and he even said it. He's like, by the time I realized where I was at and what was going on, he's like, dude, there was
Didn't
no
have
point.
it.
And I think also too, I think that he is focused on MX of Nations in 2 weeks, and he said
Didn't look like the lights were on, but no one was home at that point, so that was better.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you're talking about another dude. Like, he's going to be a title favorite next year once again because there's no Lawrences around. So, like, dude, he's just got to be healthy.
RJ Hampshire is not a title favorite in my book any year at this point.
I don't think a lot of these kids you could say are a title favorite, actually, because
I mean,
none of them.
next year is one of those gap years where it's going to be like, who do you pick? But
There's a lot of dudes that can be a title favorite. It's just who's going to manage the bad days, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I look at a lot of these dudes while I'm like 7 dudes that can win
Yeah.
a title if they just learn how to figure it out.
yeah. All right. So Justin Cooper goes 7-3 for 4th.
Over it.
Flat.
He's just over it.
Flat.
He's just over it.
He's a 450 guy.
He's just over
he
it.
Wants
Dude.
to get
He's been
married.
over it. He's been over it since Charlotte.
He wants to get married, plan a baby, and then fucking ride his 450.
And not never mind. I was about to say something. And I was about to say
fucking
something, and I was
don't
like, I'm
shut
not gonna do it.
fuck up.
He was just over it, dude.
Yeah.
He was over it.
It's funny they even brought it up about how bad he's been, or like how unmotivated he's looked.
Well, I think it was funny too that they were bringing up the whole team tactics in that second man. I'm like, dude, Levi's not gonna pull over.
None of
He's
these-
going away, and then
None
Jay
of these
Coop.
guys like Deegan.
I'm like, what the fuck do you think Jay Coop's gonna do? Yeah, he's over, dude. You could see it from the jump,
Yeah.
which is weird too, because like he was actually trying to put heaters in every practice.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you just come out in the mains and you just, whatever. I'll just finish.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Levi Kitchen goes 10-1. 10-1 for 5th. And even he was pissed off about, like, I don't understand why I can't do this.
Like, dude, how have you not figured this out? I am one of the biggest Levi Kitchen supporters. Everybody knows this. I've been pumping this kid up since he was in the end of B class. Kid's got so much fucking talent.
I'm so pissed at him.
It's so annoying. Like, dude, how and it's I don't know if he legitimately is now finally realizing, and it's good. Like, man, hopefully that lights a fire under your ass, because this is once again proving that if he can get his mental side of shit together, he can win both series. He has the talent and the speed to win both a Supercross title and an outdoor title next year. And if this is finally the round where it just clicks in your fucking head, like, dude, I don't get it. And I'm actually glad, like, when they went to interview him, when Will was in, and he just like was just dead face, because he's like, you fucking kidding me? He probably is just really? What the fuck? There was no point where I was like, yeah, man, like Deegan's no, dude, he was fine.
He's exactly like half the dudes in this class.
Except the difference is between half the dudes outside of RJ, but the difference is outside of, because RJ is the closest one.
Yeah.
He wins. Other dudes, like, we know have the speed to win, but they actually haven't won yet.
Yeah.
Like Max Volan. Like, Max Volan has the speed to win, but he hasn't done it yet. Levi's, I don't know what his percentage rate is when he gets a start, but as when he wins, but it's got to be pretty fucking high. Like, I'm so fired up because I hate seeing dudes that are this talented waste it, and not to say that he's not putting in the work, because we know he is, but it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on with you?
Great question. Even he doesn't know.
Well, I hope that this kind of rejuvenates him and it can get it figured out, because I think the ergos of the Cowie bike is going to fit him better. The motor, we know that Mitch found something. But yeah, the only thing that he can hang his head on going into this offseason is that knowing that when he gets a start, he can beat all these dudes. If you can just focus on that and just keep reminding yourself every day, if that's what you got to do, remind yourself every day you can beat all of these dudes when you get a start. Dude, Levi just might come out and he just be like, just set the world on fire.
Yeah, maybe
because I'm telling you, if he gets the mental side of shit figured out, he can beat all these dudes every time. He's proven it. Like, there's no, I know that we say with a lot of these guys, oh, but if they do this, they do that. No, Levi's just proven it. He's proven it. When he gets a start, he wins.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. And going to his counterpart here, Jordan Smith goes 110 for 6th.
Remember how we made the comment about, like, hey, man, wouldn't LA be crazy if he just, because we're going back to Supercross, if he just figures it out and, like, him and Deegan have this wild battle?
But this is just Jordan Smith shit. Everybody got all hypey the first moto, and I literally was texting someone, or I think I put it in the group chat. With
second main wasn't his fault,
and I was just like, dude, something will happen. Jordan Smith will do Jordan Smith things.
But that wasn't his fault, though.
I guess, but that's just the kind of luck he has, dude. This is like, yes, it wasn't his fault, but that's
Dylan's decided to bonsai him and Tom.
This is just the kind of things that happen to him, though. Like, he cannot put two motos together.
Yeah,
he
but like,
cannot put a season together.
That would happen, though, is not his fault. Like, if he would have crashed, like if he would have been out front in the second main,
it's not his fault, but it's his luck.
Okay, that's true, but I want to preface the point, though, is that if he would have been out front in that second main and he just wadded it, be like, yep, that's just Jordan doing Jordan things.
If he was out front, he probably would have, to be honest with you, because this is just how Jordan Smith's career has gone, man. So I'm super happy he's still got a ride for next year. I think he should have one. That's fine. He's obviously fast enough to win. We saw it in Supercross, obviously there last night, but like, Jordan Smith's just never going to put it together, dude. There's some guys that are just never going to put it together. Jet Reynolds, Jordan Smith,
those two,
Pierce Brown.
Pierce has got to get away from TLD.
Like, there's just guys that are just never gonna put it together, bro. So, yeah, he goes 110 for 6. That's great. I don't know where he finished overall in the points, but cool. That's Jordan Smith. He had a great ride that first moto. That was great. I mean, he was fucking hauling the mail.
Yeah, he walked everybody down.
He did. That was cool, but that's just the way Jordan Smith works. So, Pierce Brown goes 8.5 for 7th. Okay.
His lap times were a lot better than I thought. I went back and looked, and I think both mains he posted like the third fastest lap time.
Yeah.
He's got to get away from TLD, man. He really does.
Swole goes 6.8 for 8th. Max Volan goes 9-7 for 9th.
Fucking another kid.
Tom Vial goes 3-13 for 10th.
Dude,
shredding.
So good in the first main.
You want to talk about a deep sleeper for a Supercross title pick next year?
That's my guy.
This is the fucking guy.
And he even went out and he, like, his fastest lap time was like 4/10 faster than everybody else. Like, dude, he was on
that
it.
first one, he was shredding.
I honestly think it's just, once again, like, he's got to learn to stay in the moment at the end of those mains. Granted, it was 5+1 longer than a normal main.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the mental side of being precise every lap and just willing to commit to stuff. But dude, he's fucking rounding into form, man. Like, he's made it. He made it through a whole season,
dude, and he's gonna have a whole off season.
Get whoops figured out
at the sandbox.
Oh, and he's training with Kenny
with
and
chasing
Chase.
Kenny.
He's gonna be good, man. I agree. He's gonna be a deep sleep. If you put him on the East Coast,
Deep sleeper.
I'm looking forward to it, dude. I'm really looking forward to it. He's gonna be. It would not shock me at all if he can get through the offseason healthy if he just comes out and wins the first round.
Yep. Talon Hawkins goes 11-9 for 11th.
Was better those two races than he had been in the previous two.
Well, that's his last race on a Husky. So.
Well, you know, he's going to a KTM, so it's fine. He's going to AEO, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was like, where's he going? Oh, yeah, AEO. All right. Dylan Schwartz goes 12-11 for 12. Just decided
After
he
you
was going to.
Just bonsai both Smitty and Tom.
Yep.
Like, bro, what? Come on, Dylan. What are you doing?
Just
Just rob us. Nah, man, you just leave the door open. I'm going to run it on both of you.
Dos Vidanos, it means goodbye.
Man, he just took both guys out.
Yep.
He just, man, if you would have taken out RJ, he'd done the trifecta.
Yep, there we are. So, Mitchell Oldenburg goes 13-14.
Didn't even know he was going to show up.
Didn't
That was a little
know
weird.
he was going to show up either.
Saw his name on practice day, and I was like, huh.
Okay.
That's weird.
And there he is.
Yep.
Cullen Park goes 14-15 for 14. Cody Schott goes 15-16 for 15th. Ryder D, 21-12 for 16th. Any idea what happened to him?
We're back on Supercross.
And we're back. So, okay. Kilroy goes 16-17 for 17.
Hey, man, at least he didn't break his back.
At least he didn't die.
Because every time he touches a Supercross track, he breaks his back.
Or dies.
That too.
Caden Braswell goes 17-19 for 18th. Derek Kelly goes 19-18 for 19th. Chris Bloss goes 20-20 for 20th.
Oh, Savage movie did to Varese in the LCQ.
Oh, Savage.
And then Varese,
Savage.
as they were pulling off the track, thought better of to try to overget in his face.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Josh, you will get laid out.
Luke Neese goes 18-22 for 21st.
I wonder, he's been training at Club for a long time. Obviously, he's not on the team, but I really wonder, like, if
I
he's
think
getting...
Club's hauling his bike because I believe he had Club graphics on.
Yeah,
at
because so did him, because obviously Kilroy did.
Yeah.
Kilroy's contracted by the team.
Yeah.
But I just wonder what Luke's deal with is, but that's cool.
Yeah. And then Hunter Yoder was probably going so
I
fast.
thought I was fast, and then I realized I was last.
Goes 22-21 for 22nd.
You know what? I love that kid, man, because he just looks like he's pumped every time.
He's great.
Good for that kid.
He's great.
Good for that kid.
All right, 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Anything else?
Who do you think wins MX of Nations? France?
France or Australia?
I think Australia would be third.
Oh, I guess we didn't talk. The one thing we didn't talk about. So Hunter injured his back there.
Yeah, man. Coming from someone who knows like what it's like to have back problems, he didn't look good. He barely walk.
Fragile.
Barely could walk. I mean, like they said, they could have shot him up with some steroids or cortisone or whatever. But
he is also fragile.
You think so?
How's his career gone since he's gone over here?
I mean, dude, he hasn't been hurt in a long time.
What's a long time?
He's completed the last, 3
I
seasons.
thought he got hurt last year.
No. He got hurt in 2020. Remember Loretta's? He's been, he's crashed, but he hasn't, I don't think he's missed a season since 2020.
21 he got hurt, too.
No, man, he got second in the 250 class, Supercross, remember? Him and Jacob. I don't think he's fragile.
I don't know, man. He's had a lot of injuries since
I think he did
been
the smart
over here.
thing. They got MX Nations coming up. And then they got
Look,
the
way that looked, good luck.
I think it'll be fine.
We'll see.
It will not shock me, though, if they put another kid in for Australia for MX of Nations and he doesn't go.
Yeah, it won't surprise me either because he's got to test that 450.
Yeah. If he doesn't show up, dude, Australia...
Which is funny because he dropped that on live TV last night.
Dude, everybody knew. I know that this is supposed to be some big secret and you can't technically say anything till, October, but, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, Cooper Webb switched teams. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Cooper Webb switched teams.
All
Yeah,
right.
we didn't really know about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Anything else you can think of here? I mean, this is it. This is 2023.
Will you watch Motocross of Nations?
The highlights?
You're not going to watch the races?
Probably not.
Why? Your boy Jet's racing. I thought every time Jet's on track, you're like, oh my God.
No.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Depends. I don't know when it's on. When is it even?
It's on October the 7th and 8th. I can't remember if the 7th is a Sunday.
It's a week from this.
Yeah, so they have a week off, and then it's next.
I mean,
it's
I
2
don't
weeks.
know,
from
maybe
now.
we'll see if I happen to be scanning TV channels
Oh
and
my
see it, then
God.
sure. But outside of that, no.
Wow.
Watch the highlights.
Not a true fan then.
I'll
Not a
watch
true
the
fan of Jet
highlights.
Lawrence. Got to watch him every time he races, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know, man. It just doesn't interest me that much. So I just don't really. I mean, the race. Let's face it. The race really, in my opinion, doesn't fucking mean anything. I mean, it
Must mean something to Jet and Hunter, though.
it's great that it means something to those guys, and I'm sure, and it means things to different people. Like, that's fine. But to me, I'm like, okay, there's essentially no title in it. As far as, like, say the Olympics of whatever, okay, but then you have, like, Timmy G is in a fucking country that, like, there's nobody else to ride with him, so his team barely fucking makes the main, if it does at all, and then they don't do shit. Same thing for, like, Shimoda. Look at Shimoda last year.
Yeah.
Like, what happened there? Fucking nothing, because the other two guys, like, just aren't on that level, so it's like, when I got into this here, whenever we started the show, when I really started getting deep into it, like 7-8 years ago, it was like, okay, sweet, like, this is super cool, Olympics of motocross, whatever. And now I'm like, it's a fucking money grab for In Front. They make a shit ton of money. No one else makes any money that weekend outside of them. And it's just a money grab for them to be literally run the bullshit play of like, well, you're not a fucking proud whatever of your country if you don't fucking come to this race. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's what I got to say to that. Fuck you. I'm a huge fucking American patriot. I don't give a fuck about your race. Okay? Sorry. I just don't. It's just, there's so much involved in it now that I'm just like, yeah, back in the day, this probably did mean something a lot more than it does now. And now I'm like, I give a fuck less.
Yeah.
Just because it's like that. I mean, and probably the reason it meant a lot and it seemed like a bigger deal back in the day is because we fucking won all the time. And the whole situation of it was, oh, can anybody beat America?
Well, and that also, though, but that hits the nail on the head. That also says something about us, though. That we only like to do things when we win.
But okay, but it's not even an us winning thing, in my opinion. It's kind of like we talked about, like if Jet goes on this run and he's just winning every single title and every single outdoor race and all the shit like that, like then you're just coming to it to see like, oh, who's going to be the person to beat him, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is what I feel happened. And I feel like it's a big deal for Europeans because the American riders come there who they don't see all the time.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a big deal. For me and us, it's like, and like now, having been to a couple where I've seen these guys, like, like all the Euros that we don't normally get to see, it's like, okay, like I've seen them race, but it's not a whole lot different, Like Hurlings is the one that I've only seen the one time now, essentially. So like, yeah, it'd be cool to see him, but he's gonna come over and do a season over here. So I'll see that when I see it, So outside of that, it's like, dude, like it just, and again, too, a lot of it stems back to just what I know behind the scenes of like, it's fucking bullshit. The whole thing is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. For me, that shit doesn't, like, there's a lot of stuff that I get upset about with promoters, but for me, that stuff doesn't really fucking, like, it pisses me off, but I don't really fucking care. Like, dude, the same shit happens with the Olympics. Like, the same shit happens with the Olympics.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't think you can put on an event like that where that stuff's not going to happen.
okay, but if I'm an Olympic gold medalist, I can sell myself on that. If I win Des Nations, no one gives a fuck.
I
It
think
literally affects my bank account 0% if I'm a rider.
I think it just all comes down to sometimes you just got to do something for the sake of doing it. I really think so.
Sure.
I really think so. I think you got to do the sake of doing it. Plain and simple. Like, everything can't just mean like, oh, how much money am I going to make for doing this, or how much am I going to do with that, or like.
I'm not saying that, but what needle does it move for a rider? Period.
Just do it for the sake of doing it. You get the distinction of representing your country, not the pride thing.
Okay,
like
but
you were picked to do it.
This is that brainwashing bullshit they've put into you, though. Is like, oh, I'm gonna wrap myself in the flag.
They haven't brainwashed me
and go
dude.
do this for free. Whatever. It's like.
Jed and Hunter clearly, when you have here's where I disagree. They're the two best in our series, and they're doing it, and they don't even ride for our country.
But okay. So here's why it's still important to them. Their country has not experienced that. If they go here the next couple of years and rattle off a couple of these wins, they're not going to go back either. They're going to be like, this is fucking dumb.
And I still think this is why I say the difference between eras, different to eras. Because you talk like RV talked about this when we got waxed in 2018.
Yeah.
And then Stu and Ricky and all those guys, the difference is they didn't care if they made money or not. They were going there to prove that we're still the best country in the world as far as racing goes. Because that's the way I look at it as. Just go and prove that you're better than all these guys because you don't race them all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's the one-time deal, so that makes it even a little bit more. It makes it harder, but that makes it a little bit more special. You like to have that one fucking day. You were the best in the world, and you can beat your chest for 364 days that you were better, and that's where the competition, and that's where I come from.
Yeah, but it's still so jaded because of the way it's set up. Like, okay,
it's not jaded.
If you wanted to bring in,
was it jaded last year?
If you wanted to bring in,
was it jaded last year?
The top 10. There's still
was it jaded last year?
There is still an essence of. Or there's still an asterisk to an extent because Hurlings wasn't there.
No, but do you think any of our guys looked at it that way?
Dude,
I don't think Justin Cooper or Chase Sexton. Eli maybe because I think he always wants to race Hurlings, but I don't think any of those guys.
Like I said, it's the idea behind it is, the best motocross guy in the world or the best whatever. But the way it's set up, like that's not what it is. Because let's face it, there's been years here that, dude, if Timmy G's team makes that, or, if Timmy G's racing those guys, he waxes all of them. There's been a couple years here, not every year, okay? Timmy G just waxes all of them. Hurlings waxes all those guys, whatever. And then again, too, like, it's one fucking day. And we all know that showing up for one fucking day, something will happen to you.
But that just makes it more special, though, because it's the one time. It's the one time. You have to be perfect for a day.
I'd rather see Mathis's idea. I'd rather see
No, I would too.
I'd rather see the Super Motocross 3-race playoff thing.
I would too.
Like we've seen here where we bring the top 10 from the MX2 and the top 10 from the 250 and same with the what's it called with the 450 class and we do a 3-round.
No, yeah, that would be a lot better.
Hybridish track, maybe not even anywhere close to a Supercross thing. Like it would be perfect. We just do 3 rounds at speedways where we can build a slightly bigger track where we can have some steeper jumps and stuff. No rhythm sections, or maybe
I agree.
Some mellower ones type deal. But let's do that. Let's do a 3-race series at the end of the year, and let's see who the fuck is the baddest in the world at riding a fucking dirt bike.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be much better. But that's not what we have.
That's because this to me it doesn't show anything. It shows that you showed up one fucking day. You woke up on that day, and look at the teams that we've sent. Sometimes that have won. I mean, we just talked about one there with Isaac. You sent Dungey, Tedesco, and Weimer.
But but here's the problem with making that comment, and this goes back to everybody likes to say, "Oh, it was Weimer, Tedesco." Dude, Weimer won a Supercross championship that year. He had podiumed a bunch. He had led races over here. Tedesco is Ivan Tedesco. He's a multi-time champion, and Dungey just won. So the only time you can say is the 2017 when we sent Zacho Covington. Outside of that, all the teams we have sent in the last 20 years.
Okay, but 2017 is a prime example too.
Yeah, so, and we still had Zacho, who had just won an MX2 or 250 championship.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying is like, okay, so we sent those guys. Great, cool. That's not the best. That's not the best of our best.
What about when we sent Cooper Webb, Jason Anderson, and Jeremy Martin?
So okay, yeah, so we sent those.
So we sent a really fucking good team.
More times than not, we send a really good team.
Yeah.
More times than not.
So, like, that debate...
However, in more recent years, again, it hasn't been... I mean, like, look at last year. Last year, we sent basically close to the best team we possibly
2018 wasn't a good
could.
team?
2018 where
We had Eli
sent
Tomac. We had both champions in both classes.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
And-
like I said most times we send a very, very good team, but especially in recent years, it's like, dude, that we haven't always sent the best. So it's like, dude,
I
again,
got 1
it's
year.
so jaded.
I got 1 year. We haven't sent a good team. 2017. 1 year. We haven't sent a good team. Dude, we sent 1 year. We sent fucking Dungy Barsha.
Who did we send? Who did we send in 19? Who went?
We
19?
did 2019.
Yeah.
Shit. Where were we even in? We didn't go in 2019. Oh, Aston. Oh, yeah. We sent Zacho, Jason Anderson, and Justin Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah. So again,
Pretty good fucking team.
Pretty good. So,
And we still got dog slapped.
but
Well, Justin Cooper also got torpedoed.
I was gonna say, but again, too, it's like I said, it's a fucking 1 day thing. It's stupid. It's 1 day. You've got the ping pong ball draw for gate picks. I mean, dude, it's all so fucking dumb.
I just look at it, man.
There's
Hey,
just zero sense to it, and then like you said, like I say, you want to hang on to that fucking wrap yourself in the flag. All right, cool. I'll even give you that. But then too, it's just like, what? Like, I don't know, man. It's just not. It worked more back in the day than it does now, but the event needs to evolve now compared to what it was. That's all I'm saying. It needs to evolve.
honestly, man, I'm going to say, I've said this before, but it's a very controversial statement. I think that it's just we get pissed off over here when we don't win. Plain and simple. We get pissed off when we don't win. We get upset about this race because we don't win. Last year was fucking great. We broke the curse or streak or whatever you want to call it. But up until that point, everybody always got angry when we don't win. Dude, it's life. Shit don't go.
I'm not angry about not winning. Like I understand there are guys that are that way. I completely understand what you're saying.
Look, man,
there.
life isn't fair and a lot of shit goes wrong. Just learn to deal with it. It's about being a grown ass adult.
I'm not, but that's not the point.
No, not for you. Not for you. Not for you.
Yeah.
But it's a lot that I hear. Everybody's like, "Ah, man, like we didn't win. Like, why the fuck do we go to this event? We don't win, dude." Do you realize how many countries would love to have the pick of guys that we do over in this country? Mm-hmm. We have, outside of France and now Belgium, but mostly France.
Yeah.
You just said it with Slovenia and Japan. These countries can't even find 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Dude, we could find 10 in each class and send a team that would at least make the mains. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I get your point, and to an extent, I agree with you. But also, dude, I think that there's sometimes, and I think this is just a day and age that we live in, sometimes you just got to be willing to say fuck it. And
But I mean, even okay, let's just take the U.S. out of it. Look at France. How many years does France send not their 3 best dudes? And I understand they still win, and that's fine. That's cool. That's not the point I'm making. I'm just saying you want to say it's the best of the best.
But they found a way to win, though. Okay, so they found a way to win without their best guys.
But I'm still saying you want to promote this event as it's the Olympics, the best of the fucking best. But then the best of the best aren't all in the main. They're not really racing each other. Like they're the team thing. It all like weaves and bobs and everything. It's like it's just one of those things that, again, it was a great event before. Now it's got to evolve, and it hasn't.
It's not going to. It's not going to change.
Not as long as In Front keeps making millions of fucking dollars off the back.
Well, they're the only people that are going to be able to promote it.
That's just the way it is. So that again, it will continue to be that way until all these guys kind of start standing up and just going, look, dude, I'm not gonna fucking go do this.
But
anymore.
they're not. They're always going to do it. They're always going to do it. Like Americans, maybe, because we've already been there. But you're still going to get the French team. You're still going to get the Belt. You're still going to get every one of those dudes that'll go do that race.
I'll be honest. If you get like 5 years in a row where the U.S. team doesn't go, I don't think the event fucking really.
Nah, that race doesn't need the Americans to go.
You want to bet?
Yeah. They don't need us to go.
How do you think 2020 went? You think anybody gave a shit really about it?
They still held the event.
That's great, and they will still hold.
And
the
they'll
event.
still continue.
That's cool,
yeah.
But I'm just saying.
You don't think they go to France every time they go to France and America doesn't go, that place is going to be fucking packed to the gills? Yeah, it will be. French fans are the craziest fucking motocross fans in the world. They'll still be packed to the gills because when they see France win, they get about it. Belgium has now all of a sudden got an influx of talent. If they ever go back to Belgium, if they win, they'll be all about it. Spain, now that you got a champion in Prado and Fernandez and David Braceras, they'll be all about it. Like, this is the thing that I don't think a lot of us, and it's fine because a lot of Americans don't watch the GPs, or you get like casual like you watch the highlights or whatever, is over there. Like, we see the turnouts as far as riders. We're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't a real series.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you go to an actual legitimate, like you go to France, you go to Belgium, you go to, dude, the last race that they had, the last, whatever the sand race was, is that Liam finally got his first overall. They didn't have any place to park fans because they sold more tickets than they anticipated.
Yeah.
They'll continue to have the race and they'll be just fine.
There are events. I don't think it'll, if the US literally quit going, we did not send a team at all. And I'm not talking for 1 year. I'm talking years on end.
Yeah.
We just finally were like, fuck it.
Yep.
This isn't even worth our time anymore, which is honestly what I think we should do. Then I don't think the event goes just in perpetuity. I think it eventually dies off because the US is the biggest draw outside of, say, the local. So, okay, we go to France, the French people are fucking stoked. You go to Belgium, okay, the Belgian people are fucking stoked, whatever. But outside of that, the U.S. is the people.
Yeah, because they don't race them all year.
Exactly.
But they still show up to all the GPs.
Outside of that, it's just another GP, dude.
But they'll still have the event, and people will still come, and it'll still be packed to the gills, and they'll still have the race. Dude, it's because you don't look. I get it, but
I think it'll lose.
Man,
stuff without the Americans.
I don't think so.
Because then too, all of a sudden the rumbling's going to be like, oh well, America wasn't there.
I don't think those fans give a shit about that. I don't think the fans care as much as the riders would care. The fans, dude, is their country wins. That's all they give a shit about.
But you're just proving my point. Because once it starts to wane like that, okay,
but they'll still show up.
Then other riders are going to start not going because they're going to be like, "What the fuck is the?" They're going to start to be like, "What the fuck's the point?" Much like the Americans are, where it's like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter.
But a lot of those guys over there still want to represent their countries
to an extent. Like I said, there's.
Look, dude, I'm telling you, those guys do shit differently.
There's a lot of that whole thing there that runs around or that works because of the United States involvement. If the United States involvement stops, then it's kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not necessarily a huge chunk all at once. But it's like, okay, cool, the U.S. stops going. Okay, so now you're losing this percentage of fans because they only went to the race to see the U.S. guys anyway, that they don't get to see. Okay, now because those fans aren't going, then there's other riders that are like, oh, well, these fans aren't going, so do we really go? I don't know. And I think you would start to see like a lot of the little countries really start to fall off too of like, well, if they're not going to go, why the fuck would we spend our money to go? Because we don't even have money, period. Okay. And then what you'll start to see is you would start to see the different riders start to go because the talk, like, yes, I understand that it's going to be a lot of US media talking, and then that will start to like slowly spread its way into Europe of like, well, the US guys aren't there, so like what, like it's not a fucking thing because the big talk around 2020, at least in the media around here, is like, well, we didn't even send a fucking team, so like whatever, you know, like the race didn't get coverage here in 2020 like it does when we send a team.
I mean, it was still on CBS Sports.
Well, I understand that. I'm talking about media coverage. Like, there wasn't all the Racer X stuff and everything covering the event in 2020, and I understand we had a pandemic, so that adjusted things a bit. But it just wasn't. 2020 definitely showed a hole in it if the U.S. doesn't go. And once that hole becomes permanent, it's going to start to make it fall apart. I'm not saying it just ends abruptly. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I'm not saying the event just like falls apart. Like I said, I think it's death by 1,000 cuts. I think the U.S. would be the block that would start to tip the tower over as far as that event going away or having to make a massive, massive adjustment to what the fuck is happening with it to make the U.S. guys come back to make things happen. Because, I mean, dude, here's the thing right now. Like, we can say it's not about the money, but the problem is it's about the money to get us there.
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm not even saying paying the guys.
Yeah.
I'm saying, do you want to know why Star's not going? Star isn't going because they don't want to spend $50,000-$60,000 to send Deegan.
No, I get that. No, I don't argue that.
That is a big thing. Kawasaki won't go because of DeCoster.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a reason that all three dudes are riding fucking Austrian bikes. Yeah. So like, and like when that's the point you're getting to, and granted, yes, Honda is obviously sending Jet and Hunter, so they're still supporting it, and they said they would support Chase, and they did all sorts of workings to, you know, whatever. But you're getting short on the manufacturer side here.
Yeah.
If Kawasaki's not doing it, Yamaha's like, hey, we're only going to go every couple of years or something because it costs so fucking much. So now the only brick left to fall is Honda, and then you're down to a fucking Austrian group going like, okay, now we've taken the rider pool we had and we automatically cut that in half. Because literally Kawasaki will not go as long as Roger's involved in it.
I think Honda will always go if Jet and Hunter want to go.
Yes, but
I don't dispute how much money it cost to go to this race. That has never been something I've disputed. I look at it as like it comes down to just take some pride.
But that is,
it's always cost us money to go to these races.
I understand that. Okay, and I'm sorry if I didn't explain that well enough. The money that it costs to go is the big thing. Okay, so for example, if Eli Tomac can go and not have to spend $10,000 or $20,000 of his own money to take his whole group over there,
does he think it's going to be free? Do they think it's this is where I guess I ask the question is okay, I understand not wanting to spend the money. I get that. That's obvious. Nobody ever wants to spend that. But how much? Okay, so
this is what
how much do you think you're going to spend then? Do you think you're going to go for free? Like the GP teams aren't going to this race for free. It still costs them money to fly and get all their shit, especially the fact that they have to do it differently than we do. They don't just drive their fucking rigs to the races.
I understand that.
So like,
but this is
that's my question to you.
Something else that's been brought up though. Like, okay, if we're gonna do them in Europe or whatever, where we go and we have to take this many people because you have to have, there's a certain amount of infrastructure.
Yes.
I understand we take an overabundance of people, but there's a certain amount of infrastructure and people that we have to take in order for these guys to perform at their highest level.
Yes,
okay,
totally.
I get that. That's fine.
Nobody disputes that.
Okay. So if we are going to do it that way, then it's been talked about like, okay, then every 2 years, 3 years, we need to be in the U.S. Okay. But the problem is that in front's a pain in the ass to work with.
Well, and that also makes it
so.
That also,
it's like
the problem with that is then okay, is the French team going to stand up? Well, yeah. And then every 2 years we need to be in France. A Belgium team every 2 years we need to be in Belgium. Like this is the problem that I have, and this is not me being anti-American because I fucking bleed red, white, and blue. But this is the problem that we have in this country. We think everything is about us. Like I get it, the money. But if you're going to start doing, well, then every 2 years it needs to be in America, then France, every 2 years we're going to go to France.
Sorry, I'm off track here again. I'm not just saying this for the U.S.
Yes.
They should be paying.
Okay.
It's been proposed here. I've seen it, heard it, whatever, of like, it should almost be like a Formula One system. Okay. So like there should be a pile of money here, for lack of a better term, from in front to bring the top 10 teams from the year before.
That I can agree with.
Okay.
That I agree with.
That or say like first through fifth place gets, this many hundreds of thousands of dollars. 6th through 10th gets this many hundreds of thousands of dollars. 10th or 11th through 15th you get $100,000 to bring your team, something like that down to
a manufacturer's cup type thing.
Yes,
that I agree with.
Yes,
yeah,
that is what I was. Sorry, I wasn't just talking about the U.S. in specific.
Then I agree.
Obviously, it's a big deal for us, and that's a big thing that we deal with over here. But I'm just saying that's where it should be.
Oh yeah, that I agree with.
Like
we should.
If you do that. Even if you don't pay the riders, okay, cool, let's wrap ourselves in fucking flag pride or whatever, whatever the fuck, believe in that bullshit deal, whatever the fuck. But there shouldn't be a cost to the riders or the teams, because here's the thing too, like, okay, they're not budgeting for it. This has been talked about a lot. Like, they don't set their budget. It's kind of like the SMX stuff. It wasn't budgeted for any of these teams to go to SMX this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
That I can agree with.
Like I said, that's where my head's at. Is something needs to be set up like that. Even if you're not going to evolve the whole thing, make it different, make it a series, whatever. You need to do the financial side of things with the teams.
Yeah,
because we know from the ones we've gone to, you're making fucking
Oh, dude,
godly money in one weekend.
I was
Yeah.
at Buds in 07. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I was even at Thunder Valley in 2010, and that was one of the lesser ones, and they still made a lot of money.
Yeah, like you're making, and that's what you think the track is making, let alone what the promoter itself is making.
Oh,
so
dude,
it's like
Jonathan Beasley at Budds Creek almost went bankrupt because, and I think a lot of people have heard this story.
They talked about that, and somebody.
Oh, it's a real.
Somebody
fucking,
was like, I don't know that that's fucking true. Like,
no, I've heard from somebody that's really good friends with Jonathan that I don't know. Okay, let me preface this, and I'm not going to name names. Maybe not bankrupt, but it almost made the track go away.
That's interesting. Like, how do you
Bankrupt
do that
might
with that
be,
many people?
Bankrupt
there?
might be a little bit of a strong term.
Yeah.
But let's just say there was a big talk of we don't know if Budds Creek might be around too much.
Which I'm
Oh,
like,
look, I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't
how
know,
do
man.
you lose money that weekend? If
Look,
there's that
honestly,
many
man, I
people?
don't know because there was a fuck ton of people.
Yeah.
I think that we had over 100,000 at that race because
Yeah.
like I couldn't even walk. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. Look, man, the whole point is for me, I always love MX of Nations. Yes, when we don't go, it sucks. But here's the thing: even if we didn't go, Jet and Hunter are coming over. They're the two champions in our series. That's like a gauge point. Like,
Yeah.
hey, those guys are here. They want to fucking win for their team. It's one of the best teams they've had since the Chad Reed, Brett Metcalf, Andrew McFarland days. Probably the best team they've had since those days.
Yep.
Like, hey, man, can Australia pull off the... Because, look, dude, if Australia... It doesn't matter how good Jet and Hunter are. Racing that race in France is rough. If they somehow can pull off that win, that would be fucking huge
Be
for
sweet.
them.
It'd be real
It'd
cool.
be insane because it'd be cool. It'd be like, oh, my God. Because, like I said, racing that race in France is fucking tough.
Yep.
Like, you almost get mobbed by fans and beat up because it's like
Be awesome.
they take shit wild. So like for me, even if we weren't going, I would watch. Like I don't know, man. I don't forget all of the bullshit that goes on with it, but like when I sit down and watch that race, I just try to like look at it for it's just the race, and then I get annoyed by all the other shit. But like when I watch that race, I don't think about all the shit that goes into it. I'm just like, okay, this is it. Race is over with. All right, now this is fucking stupid. Like all the shit that just like in fucking Canada. Dude, Canada's tried to make it to this race like every fucking year for I don't know how long. Ireland, which has never fucking even seen the top 10 as far as I'm aware of, and they fucking still send a team. Can we give them a little bit of money? They go with the same fucking dudes every year.
That's what I'm saying. The top 20 teams from the
fucking
year
Martin
before.
Barr, Stuart Edmonds, and some other dude. It's the same fucking guys for like the last 20 years.
And I mean, it should literally be a situation of the top 20 teams from the year before who made the A main.
yeah, I agree.
Get a payout.
Yeah, that I agree
It should be
with.
structured, you know. And maybe it's $100,000 for the first 5 teams or something, you know. Like whatever, dude. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, make something happen because what's happening right now isn't working. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I will tell you too that like since I've come into it, and this may just be a new school part of me here, is that like outside of us going to the ones here, it's the race still isn't a fucking big deal to me. Like I don't know. I'm that's one of the sides of me that's just like I'm not that core.
Yeah, it's a different time. Once again, though, it is a different era.
Yeah,
you.
like maybe if I grew up in the or like
if you'd have grown up if you would have been
if I had been there through the
Ricky days
90s,
and
like
Ricky
watching
days,
it and seeing it and stuff, like I can appreciate the history of it.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like to me, still, it's like I don't really. It doesn't really do anything for me, you know. It's
and
like,
there is a part of it too, the fact that the last year was the first time we won in a long time. 'Cause
Yeah.
you are right. This race is different when we win.
yeah,
If we win a lot, people look at it different.
yeah. So,
All right.
hey, dope.
Cool.
All right, so that's been episode number 252. This has been the 2023 season. Thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it.
Yep, another year down.
Yep, another year down. As I said, I'm gonna be doing some just random short form videos, like as news things pop up here over the next about month and a half, 2 months. I've got a couple of interviews kind of lined up here for some more long form.
Spicy.
Yeah, we're not going to do any actual shows.
you
Show
won't.
253 will be our Supercross preview show.
You won't see these ugly mugs and the really ugly mug that sits in that chair normally for
yeah,
what is it, 2.5 months?
there'll be some of my face, but yeah, until like 2 weeks before Anaheim there.
Your computer screens or however you watch these won't be breaking because of the ugly people you see on the screen.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure to check out our sponsors. Links in the description down below. And we will see
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Yeah, we'll see everybody as far as the main show goes here for the 2024 Supercross preview
Mind
show.
blown. Made it through another year. God, it was a long year.
How many years is this for? Is this 7?
It's going to be 7 in 2024 because well, I mean, technically, if you want to 7 7 years and a month because we actually did the very first show.
17, right? Was the first year?
But we did the very first show technically when it was still 2016.
Yeah, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So this is going to be
So
year 8. We're starting our 8th year.
Wow, man.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
I could be